Well, what ho in there, adventurers! The latest days of our
Oh,
events took.
are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording, Nikki.
Okay.
Hello there, adventurer! Well, our latest adventures took us to a rather interesting place this day. As we were moving down the river with our peasantry of scaly, skin, suddenly, through a miraculous flash, I saw a great light, and my great bard fell from the heavens to once again be adorned by my vast presence. After quickly catching him up with my latest journal and what is occurring, we were peacefully making our way down the river when suddenly we heard the sounds of what I assumed was Italian. Unfortunately, it seemed wrong as we were attacked by these tiny little men with spears and shields and various weapons. Ugly little blighters. I think they were Dutch, though my companion the warrior believes that they were French. Either is possible, I suppose. But after dispatching the great beasts with one mighty swing each, and while the warrior dispatching his share of fare the two as well, we continued on our way till we made it to town, where we discovered that this entire town apparently had an affair with an alligator. It's very odd. I didn't actually think that was a thing, but country folk. What can you say? There was a charming little girl that took us back to our stables, where we were able to stable my mighty mare, Zenithai, but afterwards she told us of the various stores about the place, and we had a discussion. There, the stable boy told us that the Lord had gone out to slay the mighty beast of this woods that we are about to go, and is by himself right now in mortal danger. Well, we can't have that, so I had told the young lad that I would be more than willing to take my stalwart companions and myself to go save the young lord. Well, we went back to the inn. Apparently there, the young warrior decided that he just wanted to get laid and had a very bad day, and took out a gold coin to see what else. The courtesan had joined him, but again she too, I'm actually not quite sure what her goal was down there, but had joined him as well. Then upon entering, I was able to find in the inn and announce myself in my great glory through my epic bard's great vocals. There we then ordered a glass of wine, waited to sit with the artificer next to my side, and we are about to have a nice pleasant meal and wine. There you go, Nikki.
All right. And so, as the last rays of sunlight disappear behind the snow-capped mountains, you find yourselves entering the frosty hearth, a warm sanctuary from the biting cold outside. Broderick, Gant, and Andon join the rest of the party, Amara and Andrew, inside the cozy tavern and inn. The scent of hearth fires and delicious food fills the air, inviting you to unwind and find respite from your recent journey. The interior of the frosty hearth provides a stark contrast to the frosty world outside. The crackling fireplace bathes the room in a gentle glow, casting flickering shadows on the wooden beams and sturdy tables. The warmth embraces you, thawing the chill from your bones as you seek solace from the unforgiving winter night. The inn is abuzz with activity. The barmaid, Nancy, moves skillfully behind the counter, deftly pouring drinks and exchanging pleasantries with the tavern goers. The aroma of hearty meals wafts from the kitchens, where sizzling pans and simmering stews promise to satisfy your hunger. You catch glimpses of cooks bustling about, adding final touches to plates of savory delicacies. As you settle into a corner table, you notice a plump orange cat, its fur fluffed up against the cold, prowling leisurely between the legs of patrons, and occasionally pausing to rub affectionately against someone's leg. The feline's presence adds a touch of whimsy to the bustling scene, as if it serves as a reminder that even in the harshest of climates, warmth and companionship can be found. In the midst of the comforting atmosphere, you share a mutual understanding that preparations are needed for the challenges that lie ahead. The weight of your knowledge that seeking an audience with Thorn Drodell, the patriarch of the leading house, would be beneficial to learning more about the creature plaguing the nearby lands, or to obtaining more information as to what is happening in the world. You know that acquiring warmer clothing may be crucial before seeking him out. Thus, as you spot one another amongst the other patrons, what do you do? And let me swap you over to the interactive version of the tavern.
Andrew sneezes and grumpily chews on the almond bowl on the bar. He's fucking hot.
I am going to say that while Roderick is sitting at the table with his 2 stalwart companions and the barmaid brings the bottle of wine to him, he reaches up to take his helmet off. But as he does, he suddenly stops, slams the helmet back down, and looks at his 2 companions and goes, "By Wood, what are we doing? We don't have time for this! There is a young noble lord in danger! What was I thinking? We need to get our stuff together."
Take care of himself.
Are you insane? You're not my stalwart companion. Who said that? You were there.
Well, you guys just entered the tavern, so...
Well, yeah, but remember we sat down and drinking and I never noticed him.
Oh, yeah. Here, move yourself to a table and I'll...
Yeah.
Remembered that. That's so that's
Huh?
so funny. I just remembered that Roderick, literally hasn't acknowledged his presence, or Amara's, I think.
Nope, I haven't. I didn't notice you. I just sat down and ordered wine. I'm playing up that 8 wisdom for all it's worth.
Nah, I feel you.
Daisy.
Fuck, I'd be doing that with Jericho.
What? Who said that?
Wait, are we in separate tables or like what's going on?
Yeah, we're at separate tables, because remember, we sat at a different table than them.
Okay.
Yeah, Gant was also with Roderick and Andon.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking like I'd probably sit with. I'm gonna just.
Awkwardly phases out of this plane.
Snuggles up next to... In any case, though, what? Who said that such a word? Oh! Warrior!
Over here.
Oh, there you are, sir! Did you hear? The Lord is in danger! Apparently he went
Right.
out to go hunt that monster.
Andrew just stands up and starts walking with a certain menace to his step, with all the fury of a blue-balled man.
As you walk by, passing over towards the other table, you bypass the cat as well, who gives you a friendly little meow. Obviously wanting your attention, but unable to grab it as you continue on.
More animals to kill.
He fucking grimaces at the cat as he moves by. He like makes a face at it. And he just keeps moving. He'll literally take the chair that is closest to Andon and will just rip it to the side and sit at the head of the table.
Amara's left alone at her table.
Andrew stole her spot. She was gonna go over. Can this chair look like it can be moved?
That's a drum. These are chairs
That's
that can be
the
moved.
Okay. Is the piano like? Is it closed? Does it have like a case, like cover over the keys? Or is it just
Nope.
open?
It's just open.
You will pull a chair up and then like pull it over to like the side of the piano and just kind of lean slightly against it.
You know what, Storm?
Posing.
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna do that whole woman leaning on the, like, lying down on top of the piano thing.
Oh, like across the.
Yeah, like across it, like that classic pose for the
looks
singer.
tall. It looks tall. It doesn't look like it's one of the shorter ones.
Yeah, it's a taller one.
Yeah. So it'd be awkward. She'd be like, look awkward climbing on top of the tall piano. So she's not doing it. If it were shorter.
So what's this about a lord?
Oh, the young lord of this area apparently had gone up to go slay the beast just a mere hour or two ago before we got here. I fear for his life, because, well, The creature could be more than the young man could handle.
He has a handful of almonds that he's just chewing on as you're talking about this.
The cat just sat on your lap, didn't it?
The cat is nearby, pawing at the almond bowl.
So what, are we going to go save him?
Don't make me do this, Nikki. Don't make me fucking do this.
Dickie wants us to murder as many animals as possible
What?
in this campaign.
I literally don't like animal cruelty, but I'm just like, you know, if anything though, I can say, because he is all about his image. Andrew just drags the bowl away and just lifts it off of the table, still unflinchingly not looking at this fucking cat as he's talking to Roderick. And as he continues chewing, he's just like, oh my fucking god.
Continue.
Yeah.
Storm
what's
was
called?
saying something, actually.
Oh, sorry.
I'd say just
So what?
Cat's just like totally bewildered, just watching Andrew just messing with the cat. It's like tries to kind of call the cat like.
Roll me
With the arm gesture,
or
like-
animal handling.
Alright.
For this once, Andrew looks at you, his eyes flicker at you, and it doesn't look like he's glaring as it moves immediately back to Roderick.
Alright. Total blank roll, let's go.
9.
Alright, I'm going to
But oh no, wait, you were one of the ones who passed their con save. Never mind.
So as you kind of
wait.
Okay.
I have an ability. Okay.
What?
I have I have a race ability.
Oh.
I'm gonna use
Eyes emoji.
if it just loads. All right, so I can roll a d6 basically. Once
what
this
is it that you
loads.
have?
All right, so equal to my proficiency times a day. I can roll a d6 after I see the roll of a d20 to. Oh gosh, this is the wrong race.
Are you not looking at the right thing?
I'm going off by memory because of a character, but. What?
Is it not
Oh
in your
my
sheet?
gosh, this sucks. Okay, no, it's D&D Beyond changed the race of the character I had. Okay, that's so great.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
no.
locked me out, so I'm gonna type in reborn.
I mean, isn't that what you're
Okay.
playing, Storm?
Yeah.
Is that an ability a reborn has?
Knowledge from the past.
Yes, it is.
From past life.
Ah.
Yes.
I just
When
never
an
seen you
ability check
use it.
uses a skill. You can roll a d6 immediately
All right, roll your d6 then.
after seeing a number on the d20 and add the number on the d6 to the check. Yeah, so apparently from glimpses from the past, I remember petting a cat or something.
I honestly think I forgot it exists.
That's fine. It's just I've never seen Storm use it. That's why I was so that's why I was confused.
Ugh. Oh, I got a
Oh, nice.
15.
Okay, with your hand kind of outreached, you're kind of pinched together at the fingers and your little pss, pss, pss to encourage the kitty over. You seem to successfully manage to capture its attention away from the grumpy companion of yours, and the cat skitters across the table to hop onto your lap.
Nice.
It is now looking for scritches.
Yay.
Anyway, Storm, you were saying?
Oh, what? No, in addition to that, I think I was hiding it so much that once it was revealed that she was undead, I just forgot it existed.
Oh, fair. But I was referring to what was your character saying?
So are we going to go rescue him? Is that what are you doing?
I believe that would be the best to do. After all, he is a young, handsome, probably rich noble lord. I'm sure he would give us great assistance if we do so.
But why is that the probably rich? You don't even know what he looks like. Why is it also not probably handsome?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the young stable boy seemed to be enamored with him, so I made an assumption.
Well, considering everyone here in the tavern looks fairly attractive. Such things.
It's fairly attractive, says everyone. So, Nikki, my character wouldn't notice, but I'm curious. Is everyone around us just like a Dragonborn mix?
No.
Okay.
You could roll a perception to see kind of the.
No, Nikki, like, Roderick
Not
wouldn't
gonna lie.
notice. That's me asking.
Oh, you.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
With the people that I see in this fucking tavern, Andrew is mauling right now. He's so mad.
And I just witness. Gant just witnesses Andrew's frustration as Gant gives some petting and scratches to the cat. Yeah.
Is anyone? Amara's gonna see if anyone's actually looking at her in the room.
Roll me just a straight charisma check and then perception.
Don't forget, you also have disadvantage on that
Swear to fucking
perception.
God, if you do better than me, you better roll
I-
fucking that one too, bitch. I
I
swear
have
to God.
disadvantage on both.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I guess they are both ability checks.
Exhaustion.
Yep.
crabs in a bucket. Crabs in a bucket.
It's part of the reason
Crabs in a
Roderick didn't
bucket.
notice anything. Right now, my passive perception is a 4.
Oh, sweet.
Let's go.
What?
Oh, damn!
All right. Roll perception.
There we are. They all looking at you, but you can't tell.
You're too busy looking at yourself.
Yeah, you got him.
You are very focused right now on just making sure every hair is in place, every limb is in the perfect position that shows off your best assets. Like, your attention is on you right now.
She's doing like catwalk poses in the chair, like next to the piano.
God, I look so good right now. Andrew rolls his eyes at her before seeing Gant's gaze, and for a moment, it's passive before it goes for just a bit too long, and his eyes immediately harden into something more frustrated. But he'll close his eyes, take what seems to be the smallest huff of a breath before looking back over at Roderick. Alright. I'm hearing what you're saying. However, why should we get involved? Clearly, since he went on this adventure, otherwise, if he's filled with, complete and utter hubris, I imagine he should be able to take care of himself.
Can you not see, good warrior? God has sent us here to help this poor man. Why else would we have mysteriously appeared at his village just when he went off to go face a creature?
Andrew mutters underneath his breath, "Oh no, I'm still kind of expecting to wake up."
Indeed, but in any case, we need to assist this man. After all, the noble lord obviously is out there on a grand adventure, and we should be there to assist him in his time of need.
I'm sure he needs us schmucks. Okay. Alright, fine.
Very good! Pomade!
Though,
Oh.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. My eyes feel as though they've frozen over alongside many other parts of me while we were out there. I need to sleep. And I'm sure, for a lot of you that aren't blue by default like that one, and he angrily gestures at Andon, and for the matter, another girl who's currently strutting. I imagine that some of us need to sleep as well.
Good sir, we don't have time to take a nap in this situation. Time is of the essence.
And in reaction to your earlier call, Roderick, you hear the barmaid, Nancy, call out, yes, I'll be right with you in a moment. I'm sorry, excuse me, sir, please, can you let me by? And then the rest of the conversation kind of gets muddled amongst the rest of the bar.
So, is that guy still harassing? Sir, I need to speak with the barmaid. Would you be so kind as to step aside?
Andrew's gonna leer over in the direction of this situation. What's happening?
Roll me an insight.
Fuck me.
At disadvantage.
Shut up, I know. Okay. Oh.
Hey, nice.
Nice.
All right, that's good for Andrew. Amara, you are in the zone right now.
Too busy. Other things to do.
Andrew, glancing over towards these two, you can see based off of the look, kind of the shifty eyes of the woman, the barmaid, kind of looking away from this man standing in front of her, and the tension to her body language. There's obvious discomfort, while the man in front of her, although you can't see his front as his back is facing you, you can tell that the way that his body is angling, that he keeps kind of stepping into her like space and reaching out to kind of either rest a hand on her elbow or her hip, and she keeps trying to kind of deftly step away from it.
So does he not get out of her way after Roderick made his statement, though?
Andrew's gonna whisper over to Roderick something real quick. Just, why do we need her?
I need to speak with her! And Roderick will get up and walk towards the man if he is still blocking her. Because he doesn't get ignored.
The man had kind of glanced briefly at you from over his shoulder before turning his attention forward again to ignore you.
I will now step over this man. How tall is he?
Standing next to him, you can see that he's maybe around 5'11", 6 foot.
So I loom over him a little at my 6'3" and just look at him like, Sir, I did say I need to speak with the young lady.
The man kind of turns to you. He's got a bit of a scruff to his face, a little unkempt. His hair is kind of tousled, and you can, now standing this close, you can kind of get the waft of like the scent of alcohol on his breath a little bit. And here I'll also give you guys a closer look.
Oh, I've zoomed in close enough. No worries.
There we go. As he turns to look at you, he gives you a weird, like a slow look up and down before kind of offering a half smirk and cocking a brow as he just says, can't you see we're a little busy, talking at the moment? This lady here is, you can wait a little bit for your drinks, can't you?
I will place my hand on his shoulder. Sir, this is more than just about drinks. This is a most urgent matter that may be involving the life of your very lord. Now, please stand aside.
Well, I don't think there's anything more important than, interrupting my discussion with my future wife here. And you can see, like, a tension appear across her face, Andrew, as you still have the higher insight right now. And she looks to you, Roderick, and just says, I'm so sorry for the wait, sir. He's just kidding.
Is this scallywag giving you an issue, madam?
No, I mean, she kind of looks off a little uncomfortably, and the man just kind of gives a chuckle before throwing his arm over her shoulders and just go like, no, we've known each other a very long time. But you're kind of being rude here, interrupting our conversation.
Sir, your conversation can wait till this young maiden is done with her duties.
Well, like I said, as my future wife, one of her most important duties is talking to me. So, I mean, whatever you have to say to her, you can say to me, so.
I will look this man up and down. What do I gather of his bearing? AKA, is he low, middle, high class? Is this a
I too have a question. I too have a question.
Go ahead.
This girl, does she look like remotely wealthy or like,
Okay, so you're both inciting their status. So Roderick, go ahead for the man. Andrew, go ahead for the Nancy.
14 and then 14. Still
Okay.
killing it, low key.
Oh god.
As expected.
Looking over at this man, Roderick, he's got I don't know, just the way that he managed to kind of intimidate this woman next to him and the way that he stands with such cocksure confidence. You get the feeling that he's had to have a number of battles under his belt. He's a man who's seen things for sure. As for his status, you're not sure, but you definitely get the sense he's definitely a hardcore fighter. Andrew, she very much based off of like the clothes that she's wearing and the job that she's running, she gives off just kind of commoner vibes.
Okay, Andrew. Sorry, I'm so fucking angry right now. Andrew's gonna then lean over to Gant over the table and is just and like snaps at him and everything. What do we need her for? Why is he so insistent on talking to her?
To be honest with you, I have no clue.
All right, so here's how this is going to go. And he's having this small conversation while this exchange is happening. And he just says, Roderick is likely going to say something stupid, and we're going to have to clean up his mess. Whether that be himself or their blood, I'm not entirely sure. We have all seen how careless he is with the blade.
Oh man, I was honestly just minding my business and kind of like the vibe. Kind of sucks, but I guess if we have to, I'll be right behind you.
Let me just... He looks really annoyed, but he'll stand up and with a breath, his body language immediately relaxes. This girl, does she seem for the most part human?
She appears fully human.
She appears fully human. Okay. I'm gonna begin strolling over to, in between Roderick and this man and actually sidling over next to the girl. I don't want to interrupt because I know that you're in the middle of kind of like a scene, so like that can happen at any time, but basically Andrew's gonna start moving over here.
Okay.
Sounds good. As Roderick looks at the man, though, I will say when that's all going on, as a side boat, just as he's approaching, he will look at this man. Sir, I do not care that this woman may or may not be your future bride, but the fact of the matter is, I need her assistance.
With what?
We have an urgent mission, and I need her to help me gather some items.
He looks you over and then looks back over towards her again and the drinks that she's currently holding before returning his gaze back to you once more. You're gonna turn to a barmaid to help with this sort of thing?
Indeed! The bars are generally well aware of the areas they are working in.
There are plenty of other people here you can ask for help. Why not actually ask for assistance from someone who could...
Sir, at this point, this is the principle of the matter. I asked for the maid, and I intend to speak with her.
Andrew is approaching. I mean, he's
Okay.
whatever. I'm just like, I don't like this. Andrew's just gonna go ahead and sidle around to the side, and he's going to gently kind of wrap a arm over around her back, and with a rather bright smile, he's gonna go ahead and take a look at this man. Keep in mind, like, I'm sure his hands are kind of on her, so like their hands kind of meet on her in this sort of contested territory. And he's just gonna go ahead and say, hey sis, who's this?
Immediately the guy kind of narrows his eyes at you and the girl jumps before kind of... You can kind of see momentary panic on her face, but she kind of catches what you're trying here and just says, "Oh, John, I didn't realize you came back so soon. I'm trying to do my work."
Oh, right. I mean, I see you still have a bit of the place to clean. Sorry I was gone so long. Hunting took a little bit longer than I thought. Who's this gentleman? He looks him up and down, unblinking.
Before she can even open her mouth, he answers and just says, "Don't. I don't remember her ever mentioning a brother."
Ah, well, you know how women are. They typically don't like to open up too much when they feel a little bit pushed. And he's gonna continue looking at this man, and it's very, how do I put it? You know, a glare that doesn't really look like one? Yeah.
Passive aggressive?
Basically. It's just, yeah, I'm her brother, John. Nice to meet you. And he'll go ahead and reach out with his other hand out to shake.
He looks down at your hand, then back up at your face, and then just says, "John what?"
Gant, being a man of his word, telling Andrew that he'd fall right behind him, gets up, has to think about whether he wants to bring the cat with him or not. Can't decide and brings the cat along with him and tries to fall right behind Andrew.
Andrew, oh god, this is probably a really dumb move here. Okay. He's gonna go ahead and, with a bit of a smirk, he's gonna go ahead and say, "John Westbrook." And he's gonna wait for the confusion on his face or any noticeable change of like a haha gotcha moment on his face. Does that come up at all?
It's like immediate, yeah.
Is the last name that we share, we use the one that you know for creeps in specific.
Roll me a deception check.
Disadvantaged! I'm so good at these guys.
Oh.
Don't fuck with me, rolls. Don't fuck with me. Hey, 16.
Not bad. I was gonna say I was gonna screw you over, but I rolled an insight to make sure if Roderick realized what you were doing. I say a 10 is enough. He's about to say, "I didn't know you had a sister."
That would have been very valid if he did.
Yeah.
Immediately, his smirk kind of falls into a frown before his lip kind of curls in a snarl, and for a moment it looks like he's about to step forward into your space and get physical.
I would like to say Roderick would have his hand on this guy's shoulder at that point too. He's like, "Sir, excuse me, but I believe you've been, how should we say, outclassed here. Brothers are better than possible husbands. Now, if you would please leave."
Possible. He spits on the floor for no. He doesn't spit on the floor. He wants to, but then he remembers the gig he's going for, and he doesn't do it.
I'll say there's a moment where he's kind of like looking over at each of you, as he's definitely very outnumbered at the moment. His gaze looks you over, and here, let me do quick.
By the way, Nikki, I should state, the blood is still on my armor. I have yet to clean.
I know.
Wait, oh, that's so cute. So, hey, me too.
We're blood-soaked.
Does he pay attention to Mara at all at any point? He did roll 21 charisma.
His attention has been very focused on Nancy. Other people are, but you don't notice them.
That's fair.
So he looks up at you, looks you two up and down, Andrew and Roderick, before his attention kind of turns to Gant and the cat he's holding, who's currently just kind of doing like the, paws over your crisscrossed arms, and then the lower half of his body just kind of swinging freely. He looks rather content in his current position. And with that insight,
Ooh, that's right. You get insight against your deception too.
nah, his insight is 7. So
Oh, balls. Gotcha. His insight's balls. He's as bad as the rest of us.
I just incited if he thinks he could take you guys on. And he rolled low, so that means he can't, but does think he can.
I
he's
guess
a
here's
dumbass.
Here's a question then. Because the moment that he has that look that he might step into Andrew's space, Andrew's face grows from what was at first a cocky smirk to a borderline sadistic smile. And for just a quick moment, in this hiss of a breath, quiet yet loud all at the same time, he just murmurs, "Try it."
Roll me intimidation.
Can I be assisting since I am grasping this
Yes,
guy's
yes.
shoulder? So you're flat now,
Yeah.
Judah.
Flat. I've been testing the roll gods way too
I was-
frequently.
A part of me was contemplating giving disadvantage on top of the advantage because Gant just standing there with a cute little cat, but I
It's in between for no reason. Just watching.
I'll
Does
let
he-
it go. You get a straight roll.
It's hold on. The very important thing right now.
Gant standing there looking very ooh woo.
Let's see. Just look in general, please.
Pretty much.
All right. Yeah, let's see how this goes, baby. Fuck. Okay.
12? Okay. He eventually kind of just clicks his tongue, before letting his arm go, from the woman's shoulders, and just takes a step back, looking over at her, and just says, "Whatever. I've drank too much to be bothering with any of this. But Nancy, you're gonna make it up to me later, right?" And he gives her a little wink. She just kind of presses her lips together more tightly and looks away. And he just chuckles. Before walking out and leaving.
As he does so, Roderick will turn over to the barmaid and goes, "Dear madam, I don't know what you see in that man, but I would slightly just possibly rethinking the marriage proposal if I were you."
Andrew just fucking sighs and just says, "Read the room, Roderick."
I'm not marrying him. He's a common patron who, I guess, took a liking to me.
What?
And visits often.
He looks over. Is that man impugning your honor, madam?
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, that can't be had. Roderick doesn't even hear. He's got it. I tell you what, ma'am, if I see that man again harass you, I will give him a thrashing forthwith.
Oh no, you really don't have to. I'm sorry to cause so much trouble.
This is not a word of this. Obviously, God has sent me here to see such a dastardly deed corrected.
As that, you guys briefly hear from the gentleman sitting at the bar just a long sigh before he drinks his drink.
Is he hot?
Here, I'll bring up his image.
I'm just saying, until it was revealed that he was a douche that was entirely focused on that woman, Andrew was totally thinking about trying to seduce him. Steal the attention away.
This is the guy who just kind of sighed in reaction.
Oh. Okay. Andrew's
So-
gonna very coolly. He already, slipped his arm away from her and kind of lightly dusted where their bodies had touched, and will just go ahead and position himself in between. He's not paying attention to the man or anything. He's just, continuing to look over and whatnot. Gives him a sideway glance, but doesn't say anything.
Understood. He appears rather invested in what he's drinking, and Nancy looks to you, Roderick, and just says, you mentioned needing me for something?
Indeed. Where would we be able to procure winter clothing? We need it on the ASAP quick. We must help rescue your lord from this great beast he is after.
The Lord?
Indeed.
I didn't realize Mr. Thorn was in trouble. Well, if you need better clothing for the weather, you'd have luck at, let me quickly remember the name of it. General store. Okay. If you were to head towards, the Hunter's Haven,
The Hunter's Haven, you say?
yes, if you head about 2 houses southwards, it's the smaller looking building, maybe about half the size of this inn.
I see. Well, thank you very much for your advice, ma'am. I don't suppose you have a tavern child around here that could assist us by taking us to such a place at forthwith.
Someone who could help? You see her kind of like peer between you, Gant, and Roderick to kind of look at the other patrons in the room before she points over towards the table over here and just says, one of those two might be able to help if they have the time.
Indeed.
Wait. Hold your horses. Roderick, forthright. I thought we said that we were taking a rest.
There's no time for that, my good man. He could be dead by dawn.
He just like bewildered at his just stern, hell-bent pointing in that direction. And
Poor Storm.
I already can feel only maybe half of my toes.
Well, indeed.
I'm not
that's-
going with you if you're going to just rush off there. Feel free to give yourself frostbite.
Well, that's what the winter clothing is for, my good sir. But if you insist to stay behind, then I shall have to take the glory for myself, and the reward, if there is one.
How do you intend that we find him when, from what it sounds like, even your shielded eyes are even worse than usual?
Well, of course, sir. I was intending to also hire a guide us in this area. I'm sure there must be a hunter or something around that can give us the directions.
He just looks sideways and kind of puts his arms on the table. It's just, how's that drink? Looking over to the man to his side.
He doesn't even look your way, as he's just very like hard focused forward, even though there's no one else in the kitchen area right now as he drinks, and just gives a hard sigh through his nose.
Andrew nods. He thinks, he's into me.
Of course.
I mean, is
The
that
only logical explanation.
when your passive
I love this
insights are
party.
5s and 4s right now, we are all narcissistic as hell.
And then there's Gant with his little kitty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Gantz is going to ask the group, at least who's next to him, like, "Hey, I joined pretty late. Is everything all right? By the way, I kind of started hearing a little bit of commotion. Yeah, just checking up on John, and then seeing if anything's all right. At least I would assume he came in right when Andrew was putting on John Westbrook. So
Yeah.
yeah,
At the moment he hears that name, Andrew just kind of winces and is just, drop it.
I believe the person that we were deceiving has left the room, my good artificer.
Okay, I mean, if it doesn't bother, sorry, your name, ma'am? Sorry.
Oh, it's Nancy. She kind of smiles down at the cat you're holding and just says, "I see Carrot has warmed up to you."
Oh, Carrot, sorry, nice to meet you, Nancy. Is this your cat by any chance?
Technically, he's just sort of his own cat, but I do take care of him the most.
Oh,
Is the cat fat at all?
Yes.
Well,
Nice.
like pumpkin.
Well, they seem very nice, and I think it's really nice to have company such as this one in your town. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to bother all of you with this. It's embarrassing, honestly. Can I get you any drinks on the house for helping me there?
Oh, do not worry about it, ma'am. It is in
No.
our service.
Sorry, as you were saying, Roderick.
It's in our service to help people. But don't worry, I speak only for myself. Obviously, the warrior might get as he wishes, but do not fret, ma'am. You were able to assist me in my goal to help your lord, and that is payment enough. Speaking of which, Artificer, we will have to get ourselves ready soon. We have a journey to make.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, how much time do we have before we should get going? Because like I think I saw a nice little bit of a keys I'd like to try on. I haven't seen one since I was a kid, so.
Of course, he's a fucking thespian.
Little time to mess with that.
I suppose while we procure the clothing and I gather ourselves a guide, you have time to get yourselves ready.
Thanks. All right. And with that, I'm gonna walk towards the keyboard. While doing so, I'm gonna be staring directly at Amara.
Just posing still.
So I'm walking, and I'm gonna go up to Amara, and with the fixed glare that I've had when I was walking, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, do you mind if I use the piano?"
She like is looking at her nails, and then she just gestures with her other hand. Go right ahead.
All right, thanks.
The cat hops up on top.
And then yeah, I would. Nice. And I would just like to fiddle with the keys, like like as if I've never touched a piano before, just like pressing one key.
Okay, you're just kind of like playing around with it.
Yeah.
Okay, no roll needed for that. You just sort of take a seat and start playing around with little keys one at a time.
Yeah.
Andrew's gonna try to put the moves on this man.
Of course he is.
Cries and hands.
Amara was gonna put on moves on someone, but now it's just on herself.
Andrew is just. He's a fucking hungry dog at this point, really. Like. He just goes ahead and slinks around and will kind of lean forward on the bar countertop, and it's just laconic.
You hear another sigh as you start speaking to him.
Oh, sorry, bad first impression.
He's just staring straight ahead, not saying anything and drinking. Kind of noticing all this, Nancy kind of just pipes up while still holding her drinks and just kind of says to you, Andrew, "Oh, that patron, he never really talks to anyone, so, don't take it personally." And we'll head off to do her job.
Don't worry.
Which would mean
Perhaps he
Roderick
just hasn't
probably
found
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if that's the case, Roderick's probably walking next to her since I can only see the other two patrons in the bar. Unless, of course, you have NPCs we don't see, Nikki.
Oh, yeah, there's just, I didn't bother making all
No,
of
that's
them
fine. Yeah, that's why I
focus.
was just asking.
Andrew's gonna kind of lean in and kind of using that a transition from what she said. It's just maybe he hasn't found anybody worth talking to. Yes.
Sips his drink.
Damn it.
We're
And
still
does
riding.
not actually say that.
We're still riding that 3 charisma check from last week.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
So Roderick will approach the 2 people I was told to approach.
Okay. One appears to be a young woman, dressed in a number of furs, long, curly black hair. It's a little on the wild side. Surprisingly enough, when walking around, well, no, you don't have good passive perception, so never mind. Looking at her, she.
I have no
she
passive perception right now.
Yeah. She has the kind of appearance like she might be a hunter or a tracker or something of the sort. Here you go. And the other individual appears to be probably the most scaliest person you've come across yet. As he himself looks like he might be a walking lizard. Whatever is going on in this village seems to have overtaken him completely from head to toe, as he has these piercing greenish yellow eyes, blue scaled, jagged teeth. He seems to be dressed like a traveler or something of the sort. Here he is.
Roderick won't say it, but the back of his mind is like, that one must be a direct one.
God. And as you approach,
When I was about the father, that was the gator.
Roderick's like, I found patient 0.
Yeah.
The woman's the first to notice your approach, and she just kind of leans sideways on her chair. She's like, yeah, can I help you?
Oh, good ma'am. I was told by the noble barmaid that I might be able to procure some assistance from you.
She looks him up and down, and then kind of cocks the brow. Depends what kind of assistance you're looking for.
Well, I am hoping to procure the ability to a guide of sorts.
Ah, the boring kind. Got it. Well, where are you looking to go?
Well, we are hoping to head into the woods to help your lord. He apparently is hunting a beast, and we need someone to help us move forward for this.
So you're just looking to go down the street?
The beast is down the street?
Oh, so you need help looking for this building and then finding this beast, is that it?
Yes, we need, well, the procuring of the clothing is secondary. I need a guide to help us through the woods to help find the locale of this creature that has been assaulting your people and maybe threatening the very life of your lord as we speak.
So, this all sounds like a lot of work, and today is kind of my day off, so if you need help walking down the street, I can do that much, but if you're looking for tracking or anything of the sort, maybe another day, not today.
Well, how about you, good sir?
As you look his way, his lips, oh, I say lips, he doesn't exactly have lips, but his mouth kind of curves into a smile, and you see these very jagged, sharp teeth, and he just says, "Oh, well, I'm not much of a tracker, but if you need help finding anything particular in the woods, I could maybe point you in the right direction."
Perhaps that is best. We do need to save your lord's life after all. This is a creature that has been harassing your people.
That's strange. The lord is, he's in the main hut.
Well, the young lord, I should say, perhaps.
Oh, but he has a tendency to run off on his own and get into trouble. If you want to speak to the lord himself, he might be able to tell you exactly where to go.
Perhaps I shall do that then. Very good, sir. I appreciate your wisdom and your time.
Of course. Now, who might you be?
Ah, Sir Roderick Blessed Blade. And he will do his spiel as he starts naming his titles.
Andrew is still kind of trying to get this man's attention, but like as he hears that yodeling off in the distance, his smile becomes strained.
Starts going, Slayer the Viking of Blood Axe, rescue the daughter of Elenor, soul defender of the Bridge of Harkel!
Who brought this? He just mutters under his breath, "Who brought this bard here?"
Say that again.
Who brought this? Who brought this bard here?
Ah. At that point, you do finally get a glance from the guy sitting next to you as he looks at you very pointedly and accusatorily before looking ahead again to drink.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
You were seen with him.
Insight.
It obviously couldn't be about me, guys. What? That's so strange and crazy. What?
9. Yeah, it's... I mean... He looked at you, so obviously he must be seeing something he must like, right?
Oh, precisely. At seeing him look at Andrew, Andrew's smile would have widened, and yeah, it's horrible.
Yo, Storm finally saw something.
Yay!
Storm, fucking Amara is just perfect. Like, her fucking gaydar is just so strong.
Gant's totally fixed on what he's doing. As he's pressing the keys, not knowing what's going on, he starts trying to lab something in his head. Like, he starts trying to space some keys, pressing more keys with one hand, with a space in between each finger, hoping to form a unique sound. And then he also sees the cat, and he's wondering. He tries to pick up the cat with his other hand.
Easy enough.
Okay, the cat doesn't respond. Okay, nice.
Yep, the cat's very cooperative.
All right, and then drops the cat gently on the piano keyboard, well, the keys, and tries to like press with his other hand on the keys, and then kind of lets the cat see what it does, like walk
So,
freely.
to go along with the chaos that's currently happening here, there's Roger boisterously stating his title and name, while Gant, although his little key fiddling is rather nice and kind of quiet, the cat himself, as he begins to step on the keys, is just clang, clang, clang. And with that, Andrew, you see the man suddenly reach into his pocket and pull a couple of coins out to slam it on the counter and gets up to leave.
Immediately after hearing that horrendous sound, I'm gonna pick up the cat, put it back on the...
Andrew looks over at Gantz because clearly it's his fault. And just glares at him with a snarl.
Do I sense Andrew's glare?
Menacing.
Oh, wrong way.
Do I feel Andrew's stare burning at my forehead?
Roll me perception.
Should I roll
Great.
intimidation or something just to see?
Sure.
Oh fuck.
Disadvantage.
Okay,
Ooh.
14.
Whoa! What? Blank 18.
You feel heat on the side of your face for some reason, Gant, and as you kind of look over towards where it's coming from, you see Andrew's just staring right at you.
I'm gonna look very briefly as I'm still fiddling with the keys, and just look at him for like 3 seconds, and I'm gonna look back down. Just like going back to whatever.
What did you think that was going to happen?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think worst case scenario, what just happened. But best case scenario, I'd have a cat that can play the piano.
Andrew is going to pettily walk by, and he's just going to flip over the fucking case that that hides the keys, and he's gonna continue walking over towards Roderick as he does so.
I'm curious, does he
Isn't the
slam
cat
it on?
the piano?
He does not.
Yes, thankfully cats are quick reactors, so the minute it looks like that thing's coming down on him, he jumps off onto the floor.
Now here's the real question. Did Gant still have his
Okay.
fingers in there?
Did he?
I will
Oh.
say one thing. Andrew didn't like slam it. He just tipped it and then just let it fall. You know, it wasn't a directed assault. It was
Okay,
a,
so
Okay.
they're just uncomfortable if it lands.
yeah.
I was thinking it was the top of the piano, not the like the board that covers the keys.
No, the board that
Does-
covers the keys. That's what I was.
Oh,
referring
that's
to.
what you meant. Okay, okay. I would say I was playing and I'd have to make a deck save to pull my
Okay.
fingers out.
Roll a
Yeah.
deck save.
Have you never played a piano before?
Ow!
I'm so sorry.
The
Roderick,
Oh,
Roderick
dear
just looks.
Lord!
Roderick just
He
looks
just
at
rolls-
those.
Actually, because even if it wasn't that much of a slam, those
Sweet
motherfuckers
Lord
are
Almighty.
heavy.
They are. They are very heavy. That would hit the knuckles. Like you gotta remember, that's like 5 to 6 feet of solid wood that just slammed on his knuckles.
He would roll her eyes and then just pull the covering case back up. Oh, but don't be such a baby.
He smirked once he heard Gant screaming as he continues walking by. I'm so sorry.
at the table, Roger, that you were speaking
It's like-
to, right now the woman is just cackling.
I just look back at Mar like, yeah. I just look at my fingers, like how bent they are.
The cat looks up to you. Meow.
I'll try to scoop it with my forearms.
Oh,
Oh, poor cat.
I hate my fucking character, y'all. I really do.
It's fucking fantastic, Judah. Come on. Roger
my God.
will look over though at the two. Says, "Very well, sir, and champion of God." Did you hear something?
Rat, maybe.
Hmm.
What are we talking about here?
Ah, we are about to get ourselves ready to head off towards the Lord's chamber.
Of course we are. He kind of looks and gives his short regards to both people at the table.
You see the dragonborn male kind of steeples his fingers together as he looks at you, and that smile is still on his mouth. Seems intrigued by your guys' presence. While the woman, now as her laughter kind of dies down, she's just wiping away a stray tear from her eye.
Gant is gonna join the rest of the party, walking straight behind.
Amara?
Just in a spot where, yeah, he's visible to the rest of the group. Just like telling everyone else, like, you know what? Yeah, I think I had my fun. The piano.
Artificer, are you ready to go then?
Yeah, I think I've had my fill. Got to try once piano. I think it's the last time I'm gonna try it.
Very well. Bard, be so kind as to procure our winter clothing while we go to the palace. Oh, sorry, and you just hear this like groan in his voice. Main hut of this village to meet the Lord.
Not that.
And you said that to Andin, you said?
Yeah, I say it's
Yeah.
Zaku's character, so Zaki's character is a reason to not be where we are.
Got it. Andin nods his head.
How fashionable are the clothes that she's wearing? And how warm do they look?
They're not really. They're as
more
fashionable
warm
as
than-
hunter wear can be.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, she
Okay.
definitely looks like a woman who travels and camps out a lot.
Not exactly mink fur here.
Yeah,
He's an alpha female.
exactly. And as the rest of you guys approach, she kind of looks over each and every one of you and just says, "Oh, you all got quite the interesting group here. So what is all this? You all a circus act or something?"
Practically. No, unfortunately, we're just stuck together and trying to get, well, at least for my case, I don't know about these bum fucks. And he just looks over them, each individually. But I'm trying to get back home.
Oh, where are you from?
Marglaive.
Oh, you don't want to let any of the people here know that.
You're telling me.
So,
Yeah.
like, what about the rest of you? Where are the rest of you from?
Yeah, I mean, as if you heard already, we all kind of got stuck together by unforeseen situations, but sort of trying to get back to our native lands. As for me, I come from Felway, which is not too far from Marglaive, actually.
Farm town, right?
Yeah, you know, that's what it's known for. Not much out there, so other than that.
And what about you? And she looks at you, Amara.
I am from Valalia. She gives a
Oh.
wink.
Her lips curl into a grin.
I'm gonna shit myself. I knew this was gonna happen. Let's go.
Amara's like lips also curl into a slightly larger grin.
Well, you are a definitely interesting bunch from different areas, some farther than others. I'm guessing it has something to do with the... She points kind of offhandedly towards the ceiling, storms going on.
I think it is something to do with that, yes.
Right, the drizzle has had a very minor effect on all of our lives.
Well, like I mentioned to your companion here, she gestures to Roderick, if you need help finding a clothing store, the main hut, whatever, I can lead you there. I'm not leaving the city borders though, as again, today's my day off, but for those locations I could do it.
Sounds like you're deeply in need of some compensation. What'll it be?
You know me
starting
pretty
at
well.
starting at 5 gold.
Per person.
Mara gives a wink.
You can do 3. She'll look at says that to you, Amara.
I was thinking that we were going to perhaps maybe do something else.
Oh? Well,
If you know what I mean.
roll me persuasion.
You got this, buddy.
And
Well, if we're adding that onto the table, it'll be a little more costly than 5 gold.
how about you two powder each other's noses or whatever bullshit later?
Right, sorry. You have places to be, right?
I'm glad that you understand.
Yeah, well, pay up first, and I'll lead you over. She holds out her hand to each of you.
He will
It's 5 gold.
gladly go for it, but he's gonna keep a watch on that fucking lizard fuck. I don't like his energy.
Alright, 5 gold, except Amara, it's 3 gold for you.
Bro, that's like more than half my.
Yeah, like, there's no way
Yeah.
Roderick would pay 5 gold for a city tour.
Yep.
Like, the warrior might be a dumbass. Roderick's like, I'm not paying 5 gold for a
We
tour
have
of the city.
I guess, okay, I shouldn't have went off the ball. How much do you think she would actually be willing to be paid? I guess I spoke too soon.
Who are you asking?
Like, no, like, can I intuit how much? Because I kind of went off the ball and just went with whatever I fucking had, but, like, I guess with Andrew's background in mind, how much do I think I'd need to buy her off? Like,
With your background, I'd say, since you have exhaustion, just a straight insight.
Okay. Woo!
Okay, yeah, she's definitely picked up on the fact you guys are outsiders and confused by everything that's going on, and is trying to take advantage of that. 5 gold is ridiculous from each of you, just for a
Okay.
trip down the road.
Can
me-
I say? Can we like sans that? Because again, I was kind of speaking out of my ass.
No worries.
Understood. What would I surmise might be a good starting price?
Just to go down the street. I mean,
The
Like
street,
5
like we're from what I understand, like Roderick was trying to like have somebody help find this motherfucker.
Yeah, like, okay, that I think where our confusion is. She is not willing to go out the... Yeah, 5 gold
Yeah.
a person for scouting. Yes, that would be a viable value. She's asking 5 gold to take us down the street.
yeah.
Which you could ask a normal person and they tell you for free. We could go ask
Yeah,
fucking
we could
Nancy.
just walk down the street. Yeah, Roderick doesn't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Forget I said anything then.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah, it would have made sense if she was like going to take us out into the woods. Then that's a reasonable price. But
Yeah, that's what confused me.
yeah. No, she said she's not going out into the woods, so we're just gonna go to the Lord's place. You weren't there for the conversation. Don't worry about it, Sawayo. We're heading to the Lord, and he will point us in the direction of his son. Meanwhile, the bard will go pick up our clothing for winter wear.
I don't trust him to pick out something that looks good.
Oh, if you would like to go with him as opposed to meet the Lord, I suppose you're more than welcome to.
I'm sure it does not take long to get clothes, so...
Says the person who will probably look at everything on the rack.
Yeah, that's what she said, oh well.
Yeah.
Real.
So, I guess you aren't interested?
No, take a pass for now.
Alright. And she'll lower her hand and pick up her mug again. Well, if you guys end up meeting me for anything else, I'll be here. And she's very pointedly looking at you, Amara.
She smiles to herself and turns on her heel towards the door. Alright, shall we get going now?
Indeed, I think that would be best.
I'm just laughing, thinking like internally, Andrew's like, that should have been me earlier.
I will not confirm nor deny. If anything, when the others walk away, Andrew's just gonna go ahead and give her a look, asking, essentially like requesting her attention for a moment,
You're waiting for when the party walks away?
basically.
Okay. She kind of quirks a brow at you. What, you want to join?
Wait a second! Not that type of join. Me and Andrew were like, "Ha!" And then both of us understood exactly what she meant at the same time. It was great. He probably wouldn't have been so slow. But Andrew just goes ahead and rolls his eyes. Just, I have other business to attend to. Very random and innocuous question. Did you know that gentleman over at the bar?
Mr. Moody doesn't talk at all. Stares a hole in the wall.
Ah. So he's really like that for just about everyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him personally. I think his... what was it? She looks over towards the Dragonborn and just like snaps her fingers at him. What was his name that you said?
Oh, it is Tyr Brundle, I heard. Tyr Brundle, sorry. I don't know too much about him as he's not from the area, but it's not really purposeful. He can't talk. I mean, he's missing
And you see him stick out his tongue and make a chopping motion.
Oh no! No! What have you done, Nikki? You're providing Andrew a man that can't speak and is hot, and is from out of town. This is perfect. Oh my god. Got it.
Andrew nods, and it's just like, good to know. Good to know.
I'd be careful of you, though, if, of course, if the tongue thing is due to some kind of accident, that's one thing, but if it's due to his past, then he must have done some really fucked up shit.
Haven't we all?
Ah! She raises her mug to that.
Me as a player thinks, what sort of accident lets you lose your tongue, right? Like, did he lick a post without thinking about it?
Do you not realize how all it takes is gravity and your jaw on the floor? People have nearly lost their tongues to riding their horses while talking. Like,
oh, parts of your tongue, sure, but when you lose enough of your tongue that you can't talk, someone cut that out.
yeah, well, maybe Andrew's interested in seeing what else he can put in.
Oh my god.
I'm not shocked at all of that statement.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. But yeah, Andrew's just gonna nod thoughtfully, and he'll continue his walk away. It's just
As you were.
Alright, have fun. And the Dragonborn, who's still kind of steepling his finger, just says,
Yes, have fun.
He just grunts in acknowledgement.
So I'm just gonna state, Nikki, Roderick did not notice the warrior is missing, so he's all the way down at the at the main hut before he would probably even realize.
oh, wait, what was that?
I'm just saying, because he was waiting for us to leave first, just to have that conversation, right?
Yeah.
So
to walk away, not to leave necessarily.
Yeah, well, when Roderick was walking away, he'd be heading outside the door.
Andrew's going to not really hurry up. He's just gonna keep following loosely where he's going.
Alright. So are you guys, just to kind of catch me on board, are you heading first to the hut or to get clothes first?
Well, Roderick was going to head to the hut. He trusts the bard to get him some clothing. What Storm's character wishes to do is up to Storm, obviously.
I can't just stop on the way, no. What's going to be taking a little time out of your day?
She trying to convince Roderick while they're walking?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll make it fair. I'll let you roll yourself me a persuasion check for Roderick to see if you can convince him. Yeah. No, he's like, man, there is a man's life in danger. Time is of the essence. Of course, if you wish to go with the bard, you may do so, but I will speak with the Lord. I suppose you don't really have to be there for that.
How out of the way is it?
It's not really too out of the way. It's like the clothing place, which is what Nancy told you about, is like 2 houses down. And then the main hut, which you guys said that you were gonna just ask a random person, which is easy enough. They'd point you down about quote unquote 2 blocks down.
Well, I will meet you there.
Very well.
If you're not, then I will head back towards the tavern.
It sounds like a valuable plan. Bard, make sure you get something in my size. You know what I like.
Plenty of nervous nodding head.
I abuse Aku when he is not here.
What about you, Gant? Are you joining Amara for a quick grab of clothes or joining the rest to the main hut?
I think Gant would trust Andon to be able to just like pick out good clothes. So
okay.
Gant
I'm
would go
assuming
with
you
us.
guys also like handed him the money for that,
Basically, when you give us the price, Nikki, I was just gonna take it off my thing,
okay,
but yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I think winter clothing's like a gold.
So let me take Amara off off of this map as you guys. All right. So, leaving the warmth of the inn behind you, 3 of you stride off in the direction of the main hut after asking a passerby, while Amara, you head off in the direction with Andon to get winter clothes. Let me swap you guys over to main hall.
Amara might speed run the buying of clothes and head over there, or she might take a while, so I don't know.
It's not, I mean, I guess, is she gonna be picky?
I mean, I
Depends
think
what
the
they have.
bigger problem is like how big a selection would a little place like this have?
Exactly. If
Yeah,
it's
it's not a
easy to
big
pick
selection.
out, if it's easy to pick out what may look like good enough and is affordable to her, it'll probably be fairly instant, and she'll just walk out, head on over.
Yeah, if she wants, she can kind of hurry ahead from Andon, grab what she wants, and then hurry back over to catch up with the others if she wants.
Does it look decent enough for her standards?
For her standards, no.
How much is it?
So there's winter cloak, there's fur-lined boots, fur-lined gloves, snowshoes.
She has to get like. Is a cloak enough?
Yeah.
Okay, how much is the cloak?
8 copper pieces.
Oh, that's fine.
Cl-
She
Clothing's
will
not
try
that
to-
expensive.
She'll try to pull the whole seductive shtick to try and lower the price.
The store is run by a dwarven old man.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, roll.
Real recognizes real.
I'd say roll just a charisma check.
Disadvantage. Oof.
Yep. 13.
I'd say, although your intent isn't flirtation, the old man seems to more sympathize with the fact you look like you're freezing. And knocks the price down to 7 copper pieces.
Ooh, a whole copper. Let's go.
Yeah.
Dude, you're quibbling over coppers in the first place.
She don't care. Well, I mean, well, it's less about the money, more that she can get the attention that she wants. And she
That's fair.
I. Oh,
she can't tell. She just assumes she liked him, so she's happy with herself.
Oh my god. This party.
just like me for real.
And then she hurries away. She'll probably be late, like a little ways in, but
All right, let me add you back onto this map then. Let's see. There you are.
By the way, I think I still have Carrot with me.
Oh,
Bring that
yeah,
up.
no, as you were heading towards the door, Kara would have hopped away.
Oh, okay. Oh, alright.
just fucking steal the cat.
Did you want to try it?
It doesn't belong to the freaking tavern. Sorry?
Nancy had mentioned the cat is kind of just his own thing, but she takes care of him the most, so it's kind
Oh, okay.
of...
It's a tavern
No.
cat.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. Like, I don't recognize that. Okay. Well then I'll like leave it and say like, bye bye.
Okay. The cat watches you as you take your steps out the door. All right. And so you guys make your way over towards the main hall. Oh, the front door's unlocked, so it's easy enough to step in. And yes, you guys have to control your tokens.
No.
No. Oh wait, I can't see shit. Oh,
Doors closed.
It is very
That,
dark,
like, the
yes.
door says it's
That's,
open, but it be closed.
Oh, what?
Did you build a wall over the door by accident, Nikki?
Yeah, you
Maybe
might
I
have
did.
put-
Here, let me...
Yeah.
no, I'm in now.
Yeah, I'm moving all you in.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I think Nikki might have built a wall.
Damn it.
Okay.
Alas.
Oh my god.
He's in the file.
He's getting. That is
Warp. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
that is the biggest. Like someone's roasting a cow.
A pig. Or wait,
It's a
I can't
pig.
tell.
I know.
it's a
It's either the biggest pig ever or a cow.
Yeah, that is humongous.
That's a hog right there.
It's
a
a
hog.
Hey, it's a large size pig.
15 feet.
It's not. Well, I think the little bit is peeking over. It's
Fair. So it's like 10 feet.
Big pig.
It's a big pig.
So as you guys step inside, for the most part, the room seems to be fairly empty, other than the food kind of cooking within the center of the building, and a fireplace off in the distance. You do notice one woman seems to be kind of sweeping the floors, and as you guys step inside, she looks your way and gives a small nod before speaking and saying, she appears to be a human servant with long black hair, kind of tied in a long braid. Her clothes are pretty unkept and raggedy from cleaning. Definitely a common lady. She just says,
Hello, looking for the, Lord?
Indeed, my good ma'am. We need to speak with him and most forthwith. It is
Right.
urgent. His son's life may be in the very grip.
Help, young Lord. Follow me.
Now, I'm curious, Nikki. Do I recognize the accent?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same.
roll me history check.
Well, if it's French or German, I would recognize it. That's
Okay, it does not seem to be either.
okay, because that's all I'm asking. 'Cause I speak French and German as my side languages.
History 11.
Disadvantage, Judah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Hey.
It's hard to really pinpoint.
Right. She's
She
drunk.
Of course. She leads you to the door down here.
Oh,
First-
whoops.
First the
Wow.
French Dutch, and now
Wow.
drunk maids.
Time to get hit by another wall,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, I'll put you through.
Thank you. Oh my.
Yeah, Nikki, when you make your walls, you have to not include the door.
I know. Whoops. So she stands here, gestures, and peeks her head in, and just says,
Lord, for, visitors here.
and she must get an approval, as she kind of then turns her head to nod at you guys to enter. And let me bring you guys in.
Ooh, I teleport to the kitchen. Just grabs a ham sandwich on his way past.
Ignore that.
Sorry, Nikki, I just...
What happened?
You see a very short man, again, seeming to be ailed by whatever height issues affecting some of the villagers here.
The
He's a very...
contagion.
What's that?
The contagion.
The contagion. He has a very long, well-kept beard, as well as a fur kind of cloak that seems to be made of black bear fur. Here's a close-up.
Wood.
I mean, so far we have yet to hear a knot, Judah. Just pointing this out.
And you're gonna have to wait a lot longer.
He nods at each of you as you enter and just says,
I hear you're here to look for my son.
Yes, indeed, we are here to assist him in his hunt. We are concerned for his well-being, hunting the great beast by himself.
Right. Does he frequently get into trouble like this?
immediately pinches the bridge of his nose.
Ah.
Roderick nods his head. He recognized that look from his own father.
Oh.
normally it wouldn't be such an issue. However, this beast or whatever it is not the usual bear or large elk or normal creatures, animals that we hunt. It's a monster of some kind. And I don't know, I mean, strong as that boy is, I don't know if he could take that on by himself. And the fact that he ran off without a second thought, without any plan, and it's already getting darker and darker by the minute, I'm worried.
Could you describe this monster to us?
Yes, it has the body of a bear, but large horns like a bull. Stands on two legs like an ape of some kind. The hunters that have gone after it have been torn to shreds, and their bodies left to freeze in the snow.
I'm just gonna say it because Roderick would. My God, even the animals are crossbreeding these days.
He just gives you a strange look.
Andrew raises a hand, just like dismissively over it. At Roderick, and he's just
Ignore him. So, do you know where he might be?
Well, knowing him, he made mention of the mountains nearby, so I think that would be the best bet. He couldn't have gone there yet, I don't think. It's quite a few hours of travel.
We're not exactly... Well, I can only speak for myself, but really, all of us, we're not well-versed in these parts. Do you have any advice, maybe, for traversing the mountains?
Or a guide, perhaps?
Or a guide?
He looks each of you over. Also, where did Gant go? Oh, you're under Ramara. There we go.
Hello.
hello, shut up.
He looks each of you over before just rubbing his, scratching at his beard, and just says,
I assume none of you are used to hunting or traversing the woods, then.
Indeed not. I'm used to going through the mountains and hunting down bandits and such, but beasts, I always had a guide to lead me to the way.
And I'm a city man.
Speaking of which, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Lord Roderick Blessed Blade.
Nice to meet you. I am Thorn Drodin. Thorn Drodin. Patriarch of the noble family of Drodin. My son, name is Grom Drodin.
Pleasure to meet you, albeit in this rather stressful situation.
Yes, and I assume the fact that you are willing to help look for my son, you would like compensation of some kind.
Preferably. It is a bit of a risky crack, and a lot of us, including my own self, are not fully recovered from our previous venture, so...
Well...
he walks over towards his desk, before pulling out a drawer and holding a bag. It's got some coin. It's definitely not a huge amount that you'd expect from a lord. As he then says,
Unfortunately, due to the disputes currently ongoing with Marglaive, our funds are limited, especially with this strange magic that has currently appeared, making our war with them a little more fatal. But I can offer you 100 gold pieces, as well as a gem of some kind that my men had stumbled across during one of their endeavors. And
he picks up this large blue gem, about the size of his palm. It seems to kind of glow a light color.
It's not like any crystal I've ever seen before, so I'm sure it would fetch for a good price if you could find a seller.
That is most generous of you, my lord.
Very.
Okay, As for a guide, finding one at such short notice would be a bit difficult, but
Surely you must have
That's what-
hunters under your employ, my lord!
as I said, many have been unable to traverse the woods in some fear, leaving because of the creature. But I do have one servant who might be able to help. She won't be able to offer much assistance in fighting, but she can at least help you with navigating through the woods.
My lord, I do not need assistance with the
Servants?
blade! Merely the locale of the creature!
He kind of looks at the rest of you.
I hope your strength is as grand as your words.
Sir, have you not heard the legend of Sir Roderick... Sorry. Sir Roderick Blessedblade?
That should happen in canon.
Yes, think I recognize the name, possibly in past. If you were from another noble family, I apologize. We tend to keep to ourselves for the most part in regards to politics.
Oh, of course. Can be quite forgiven. I was wondering, I've never seen you around any of the tourneys.
No, I'm long past the age of tournaments. My son, though, you may have encountered on occasion in hunting tournaments.
And your son, what does he look like? Is he, as stout as yourself?
Do I want to
He
fuck
can-
this man?
He kind of chuckles lightly and just shakes his head.
No. My son has not undergone what has happened with myself. Rather large for his age.
He looks towards you, Roderick. How tall are you again?
6'3".
6'3".
I'd say.
Fuck did he become 6'3"?
That was the height I gave Zachy. I had to go back to my audio recording to hear it though.
Got it. Andrew's punching the air right now.
It's hard to say from my stature, but I'd say maybe an inch or so around your fellow's height here. His skin is sort of a light tan, more like his mother's. Short black hair. Never properly dressed for this weather. Always insists that a warrior is not in need of a shirt, but he believes it's a pride to show off your battle scars.
Sounds like quite the interesting character.
You will not miss him when you see him.
Indeed, my lord. Well, in any case, I am sure we will be of assistance with him. If you would like to find this servant of yours to lead us the way, we will not take much more of your time.
Yes, thank you.
He calls out to the door to the woman who had led you here and just says,
Maria, if you could go get Bailey for me, please.
and you hear from the other side.
Yes, of course, sir.
So, Nikki, just for the is Zaku's character here?
No.
Okay.
Is Mara here now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, you were with them.
Oh, okay.
As you guys chat, the servant will arrive. So, surprisingly enough, with the woman that you see approach, it appears to be she's a sort of a tan-skinned woman with short white hair. One edge sort of stretches into a braid. Surprisingly, though, her ears are rather pointed, which you remember with a conversation you had before seems to be indicative of those from Marglaive, which the people here do not have a good perception of, so it's a little strange to see one here. And as she enters, she, let me show it to you guys.
I mean, Mara also has long ears. However, she is blue.
Yeah, the blue
The blue's kind of the thing
differentiates
you
her.
first noticed, yeah. The ears are kind of secondary.
Yeah.
It's like disease versus symptom, you know?
Oh god, once again Roderick is just thinking to himself, oh, more peasant stock. Fantastic!
God.
No, that's so interesting, because Andrew was just thinking to himself, is she actually useful, or... Okay.
I love it, we're both assholes.
Mm-hmm.
As she steps into the room, she gives a small bow to each and every one of you.
There she is, that is Bailey. Not from around these parts, but she's rather well acquainted with the woods in particular. So, if you need help with tracking, she's your woman.
And the woman speaks up and just says, "It is a pleasure to help you, sirs."
The pleasure is mine, ma'am, and I will give her a courtly bow. I am...
She bows a little lower.
Nah, he would accept that as the fact that she is beneath him, so yes, that's okay. I was like,
That
would
is
he
quite
get it?
literally it. So,
I was about to say, is he the type that would actually try to humble her?
Out humble the slave.
You'd be amazed what Roderick will do to win a humble this contest. But he will go, it is a pleasure, ma'am, to help us in our task.
She just nods her head. And the man gives a curt nod as well before looking at all of you.
Is there anything else I might be able to assist with in your search?
I believe we should be good, though. To be fair, things should be prepared for when we return. I think it is only fair that after we get back, we should prepare a celebration. I believe my bard would be most useful for that sort of thing. He'll give you the details. We'll leave him behind. He'll sort it out with you.
But Rodale, I'm curious of something.
Mhm.
How unpredictable is the weather?
He gives a very long sigh, before kind of glancing out the window for a moment.
These storms have been difficult. In addition to these many strange creatures and monsters that have been appearing, it's granted some sort of magic to items and people that allows them to do miracles you would only ever expect from a god. It's
Sir, God will perform many miracles for those who are devout.
Andrew absentmindedly will scratch at his neck a little.
honestly, at this rate, I'm considering it might be best for my people if we are to just submit to Marglaive, as I do not know how they would handle. But I am hesitant, as I do not know how they will handle the scaled of my people, as I'm sure you have seen passing through here.
My good sir, there's nothing wrong with what the peasantry do with each other. I'm sure the breeding is a case, but I mean, everyone has their quaint ways.
God, Roderick.
Breeding?
Looks at you confused.
Well, you know what the peasant folk get up to, my lord.
He's convinced that everybody looks this way because they're all fucking animals or some shit. Sir.
Beg your pardon?
Andrew let his aggression get the best of him for just a moment.
No. My people do not indulge in bestiality. It is due to these storms. There have been
Storms
people
are
have
making
been
them have
mutilating.
bestiality.
Gat, as he hears what Roderick is saying, just takes a step back, slowly, just tiptoeing closer to the wall, away from giving this.
Just I'm not associated with
Yeah, like, oh, what is it?
Andrew just gestures at Roderick and it's just, how about you stop talking? I'm sorry, he's not from around here and he's used to these higher pleasantries. He's frankly lost half of his humanity.
Sir,
Back-
I have not lost half of my humanity. I am just open-minded with what they do. It's...
Yeah.
You just kind of quietly, since you're standing the closest, Andrew, you kind of hear Thorn speak under his breath and just says, "Oh God, my son is dead."
Oh. Andrew puts on a little bit of a smile at that, and it's just. But I assure you, despite how he wields his mouth, he wields his sword tenfold better. Andrew
Tenfold of
is-
nothing really all
is-
that much.
Is trying so hard. He just raises a finger to silence Amara. He's just smiling at him. He's just. It's just the source, bro. Trust me. Like.
Okay.
Alas, I have no one else I can depend on, as my men are fearful of the creature, so I will have no option but to put my trust in you.
He looks towards the servant girl who will be leading you and just says,
Bailey, if you would be so kind as to make certain that you do not get involved in any battles that may occur.
and she just nods her head. Yes, of course, sir.
Do not worry, Lord. I will make sure that the young maid is safe from any harm on our journey.
Alright. Well, I wish you all luck. If you ask Maria for some more better camp wear, I assume you all are not prepared for sleeping in such cold. She can handle that for you.
That would be
Right.
most appreciated.
Oh, right. So, another matter, just so I'm aware, but... And he goes ahead and faintly gestures towards the slave. I'm so sorry. He just asks, how much is she worth? In the event that something happens, we can compensate you.
There's like a moment where his brow kind of furrows in confusion before it kind of clicks. He just says,
Oh, no. She is not a slave.
Nikki, correct me if I'm wrong. Slavery is something like, this is like basic Christianity where slavery is still a bad thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Roderick will look at, Sir, did you impugn that this lord would own a slave?
Andrew just goes ahead and gives him a sideways look. And, jeez. Sorry, my mind is blanking. Jeez. Andrew just goes ahead and gives Roderick a sideways glance, and it's just, didn't you imply bestiality?
So, what the peasant folk get up to is their business, but us nobles have to have our demeanor more of higher standards.
Well,
He means that he is still implying bestiality.
Andrew raises a finger to silence Amara again. It's just... Get into that another time. For now... Alright. I apologize for my misunderstanding.
No. I get that things may be different in other areas of the world, but here in Drodale we do not partake in such things. No, I took in Bailey as our circumstances are, well.
He glances over at her and she's just kind of, there's not really much of a expression on her face as he talks, and before he shakes his head,
It's not my place to explain her situation, but I took her in as a sign of good faith, and she's a very hard worker, so.
Ah, a very good and Christianly charity, my lord.
he just goes, kind of gives like a slight nod of his head. I'll say roll insight, Roderick.
And I roll an insight as
Should
well.
I bother, Nikki?
I would
yeah, you
like
don't have to bother
to,
Andrew.
I mean, I'll roll it, but we all know, don't forget disadvantage, guys.
I know.
Holy shit! Am I gonna? Here's where it goes to 1. Oh!
Fuck.
I got the highest in the
Disadvantage 'cause
party!
We drank?
No, because we're exhausted.
Oh, I'm not exhausted.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you're fine, kid.
All right, I will still.
You can roll insight too
And-
if you want.
Yeah. I've just been observing, so.
I rolled a 10.
Not
That's
that'll
at
do
least.
any. Ah, yes. Not like it matters.
Yeah, he just politely nods his head. Doesn't really. You don't really get any sense either which way in regards to mention of Christianity from him or Christianity.
Christianity,
Yeah.
yes, Nikki. It's
Yeah,
Christianity.
Yes.
Nikki, you heathen.
And so the Lord gestures to the door and just says,
Bailey, if you would pass on my request to Maria about getting everyone the correct bedding and camp gear, that would be great. Thank you.
and the girl nods her head before passing by. Well, Amara, as you're kind of standing by the door, she looks at you and doesn't say anything, just kind of waits for you to step away.
Alright. She will step out of the doorway. I assume that we are heading down anyways, so she'll continue back into the hallway.
Okay. All right. And so, just to kind of move that along a bit. The woman you learn, her name is Bailey. She passes on to Maria what Thorn had told you in regards to obtaining winter clothes, winter bedding and such. I'll say on your way out towards the entryway of the village, you pass by Andon, who hands over clothes. All of you can knock off 7 copper pieces. For your winter
discounted
clothes.
for everybody. Let's go.
Oh wait, 8 copper pieces. Sorry.
Because I
Hatred.
have to convert my gold. There we go.
You can also add to your inventory. You can add. Where is it?
How do you subtract, by the way?
Oh,
Just in the. Sorry.
it's
I'm pretty sure I'm in the right section in inventory, but I just don't know like.
So you see the bottom part where it says PP, GP, EP, SP, etc. In inventory.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Yeah, with the.
It
I just
won't
don't have
subtract
subtracted.
for you. You have to use a calculator or.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take 1 gold, you have 9 silver, 2 copper remaining.
Yeah.
9 gold, 2 copper.
9 silver, 2 copper when you remove 1 gold.
Yeah.
Says here I have 100 gold, right? Is that true?
No.
What?
No, that is not correct.
Dude, man,
What the
you
fuck? I don't know where I got this from.
Yeah, you're supposed to start with like 10 at the most, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why I have 100.
Might be an extra.
You might have hit an extra 0 by accident.
Are we taking a?
Okay, so I do-
By the way, are we taking a
so-
break soon? I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah, we can do that now.
Okay.
So you said 9 silver.
2 copper.
I'm at 2 copper.
That's what you should have remainder. Minus 1 gold and give yourself 9 silver and 2 copper.
And still 9 gold, right?
Yes.
Okay, 9 gold, 9 silver, 2 copper. Okay, thanks.
There you go. And this is also our break time. So
So I will
Yeah,
pause.
food if you
Remind me to
must.
start it up again, Nikki, when we start up again. Go.
Recording.
Alright. Alright, starting up again. So once you guys have gathered your winter supplies from Maria, which you guys can add now to your inventory.
We added Maria to our inventory.
No.
Giggity.
I am adding
Yeah.
Maria to my inventory.
I don't like you guys.
Knew she was a slave. Andrew was right.
I hate it here.
She is nothing more than an object for our amusement.
I hate it here.
Oh my god. Alright, so you can add cold weather tent and winter sleeping bag. to each of your inventories.
Un momento, por favor. How the fuck do I do that?
So we got winter clothes.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to unlock your sheet to add a new thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what was it? Was sleeping?
Hold,
Sleeping
here,
bag and
I'll,
what?
I'll write it down. Either 10 and
How heavy is the 10? Is that for each person?
yeah, each person.
Okay. How heavy is the 10?
Tents are 2 pounds or 20 pounds.
Oh, they're 20 pounds.
Yeah.
They're quite heavy.
Yep.
I was looking at the rod, unfortunately, when I typed in the word tent. You're not gonna be able to lift that, are you?
No, she's fine.
Okay.
She's getting there.
Winter clothes and what else he said? It was
Sleeping bag.
winter sleeping bag. Okay.
Yep, I got it all written down on the. Yeah.
By the way, sleeping bag is a bedroll if you're looking for the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, for winter.
And so, continuing on, you gather your supplies from Maria before you are escorted off the property. Bailey, who is the servant girl, will be guiding you in the direction of best navigating the woods. Leads you to the front of town before stepping forward ahead of the pack. First, starting you guys off on the main road. Which, let me see. Well, actually, I can keep it on that. I keep forgetting there's something playing. So, you guys start your journey along the main road. You see Bailey kind of looking every which way on occasion to kind of keep an eye on any odd-looking tracks that catch your attention. And while this is going on, is there anything you guys want to talk about?
I can't think of anything other than disparaging marks at Bailey.
I suppose Roderick, out of politeness, would talk to Maria, possibly.
Wait, so we have Bailey and Maria?
No, you just have Bailey.
Or Bailey, I meant Bailey.
Okay.
Okay, what do you say?
So, lass, the Lord took you in to help his... Is he treating you well, out of curiosity?
Yes, the Lord is very kind to me.
Are you allowed to say otherwise?
Yes.
Would you be allowed to say that aloud? There goes on this huge thing. Indeed, sir. I mean, why would she lie? She has such an honest face.
She has the most deadpan poker face.
That's exactly what Andrew says.
He has the most deadpan poker face. What are you talking about?
But it's very honest. Just look at it.
Blank.
It is
It looks
probably
blank.
honest because I am not lying to you.
See? Only an honest person would say such a thing.
Oh my god. No. I'm just like, let me know if I'm stepping too close off boundaries and whatnot, because Andrew is he's a fucking dick, and he's feeling some type of way about the situation because of Marglaive and because of, yeah.
I'm gonna say right now, I don't have any boundaries for myself personally, Judah. Be as brutal as you want.
Understood. He's not gonna. Sorry. I fucking hate this guy. He's gonna go ahead, and when he's walking kind of close, he'll go ahead and step up a little bit closer, and he'll yank her on the ear a little bit. It's just, very much intentionally trying to hurt her or get a flinch or anything of that nature, because he thought she was being a little bit too smart with him.
Okay. So you give a sharp tug on her ear, and it causes her to briefly kind of lose her footing, but she doesn't really react. She just kind of like keeps her head down and looks up at you curiously. Can I help you?
You already have. Keep walking.
He gestures very politely in front of him.
So, Nikki, just because I'm curious now, and because Roderick has no ability to control this,
Mm-hmm.
his divine favor, or not his divine favor, what's the one I'm looking for? My divine sense, sorry, that's the one I'm looking for, goes off, just randomly.
Okay. Presence strong. You are something like this cry for the rings. Can open your deck file location any celestial feed or undead within 60 feet. So you don't really understand what's going on, but like you get a feeling, right?
So it can be done in two ways. So we decided the way we're gonna do it with Gan is he's just gonna smell really bad because it is a noxious odor can be one of the things that makes you trigger.
Yeah, I guess. Do you want to hold this off then till he's here?
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
I was also doing if I got anything from her too, out of curiosity.
I'll say hold off until Jesper's here.
Okay, fair enough. It'll go off when Jesper gets back then.
Okay.
But I will be doing these randoms, like, okay, technically he won't be able to, but this is me being my character's god and saying it happens.
I'm just gonna cast this, because now that I can fucking do it, and I can do it at will.
Detect magic. 30 feet. If you sense magic in this way, use your
Just give me a
action.
heads up, I am listening, just still not home.
No worries. You got an RP waiting for you when you're back.
Thank you.
Use your action.
And of course, this car is parked without any signal. You fucker.
The area that bears magic. Is there anywhere in particular that you're trying to focus on, or just in general?
No, just in general, within 30 feet of us.
Within 30 feet of you, I don't believe anyone has magic on them. So in that case, at least for your environment, you're not really picking up anything in particular. You're definitely, every so often, kind of the air stirs around you with sort of a magical essence, but again, the storm is still kind of raging above, as they have yet to really disappear yet. As well as you do get a faint... Oh, sorry, what?
I was gonna say, is it snowing?
Yes, it is snowing.
Okay.
As well as a faint sense of magic from Bailey, actually.
Hmm. Bailey, dear.
Hmm.
I sense a bit of magic from you. What is that exactly?
She stares at you for a brief moment and then continues looking ahead and walking. I am unsure.
Can I tell where exactly it's coming from on her?
Faint aura. It's around any visible creatures, so I'd say roll an Arcana check.
Disadvantage.
Yep.
Fuck. That's not
15. Yeah, you are kind of getting a sense from the scars that you can kind of see, that stretch along the entire back of her neck, and over her cheek. So it seems to be focused around her scars.
Does she cry? Yeah, she has no care for boundaries.
Ah, fits in this party perfectly.
It seems like your magic is coming from your scars. Is there a story to that or something?
Have anything to do with your ears? What? Did you get your ear cut while you were being born?
She kind of looks between the two of you. What kind of vibe are you guys both giving off?
Amara's just genuinely curious.
Mocking. I hate him so much.
Is there a purpose to these questions?
Just to sate my curiosity.
Well,
She looks forward again, at one point kind of crouching down and pressing her fingers along very faded tracks that can be seen, and just says,
while I am unsure as to what exactly has been done, I suppose it is possible that there has been some sort of magic implemented on me during my time in Marglaive.
Magic? What are you speaking of?
Magic. What is currently happening in the skies, in the world right now?
You mean witchcraft?
Yes.
As soon as you say the word witchcraft, you just had to use a trigger word, didn't you, Judah?
Oh, that's exactly what Andrew was doing. I'm so glad you noticed.
Witchcraft! Indeed, there was a witch that hexed you, young lass!
I suppose in a way you're not wrong.
Well,
Mark,
Two warlocks in the party.
"What's that?"
I just said the two warlocks in the party.
Yeah.
Marglaive doesn't particularly care if you do not have something memorable to your name, so they will use you as you please.
are you saying someone in your home has put a hex on you, my lass?
I suppose
But
you can
is
think
that
of it that way.
Well,
no, it is.
Window.
Oh, jeez, you both all talked at once. What?
Sorry.
You go first.
She said, or is that a sexual innuendo?
Oh my gosh.
And Andrew had said, that's a convenient narrative. Who's to say that you're not the witch herself?
You want me to kill our guy, don't you?
Yes, I'm so glad you understand.
Throw him under the bus.
There's Andrew's not, this is perfectly out of the goodness of...
Billy just kind of tilts her head at that.
No, I am not a witch.
Sir,
And
would
no,
you
that
imply...
is not innuendo.
So, would you imply that our General Lord would give us a witch to guide us? How absurd!
Anyone is susceptible to deception, even lords.
Ha! As I say, this lass seems to have quite the honest face. I don't believe she's a witch at all, though I believe she may be cursed by one. If I do find the dastardly fiend that had done such a thing to you, my lass, I promise you, Sir Roderick Blightblade will
She just
smite
walks away.
them.
Andrew will
Walking.
Andrew will
Amara
try to
grins.
accidentally not accidentally trip Roderick.
Amara grins as she walks away. I like her.
Ignoring Roderick.
Andrew
Points at
grumbles
her.
angrily to himself.
It's not like Roderick would have even noticed she ignored him.
I guess this will be contested then for tripping.
Yeah.
Acrobatics versus acrobatics.
It's athletics versus athletics for a trip attack, Nikki.
Mm,
Like, that's just the ruling for a trip attack, but... you can do acrobatics versus acrobatics as well.
Yeah, I say if it's like are you trying to hurt him or just trip him?
I'm trying to get this man's helmet full of snow.
All right, athletics.
That being said, I'm totally gonna play it off like an accident. Anyhow, boom.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Oh yeah, right. Hey, cool.
Ooh, I lost. I rolled a 2.
Oh. As you're kind of busy, kind of following after Bailey to ensure that you will, you know, help her out, and how dare anyone suggest that the Lord would leave you with a witch. You don't notice the leg that suddenly shoots out in front of your path, thus unbalancing you and causing you to topple forward and land face first into the snow.
Well, unfortunate. Just picks himself off, dusts himself off, and continues walking.
That's fine as long as it interrupts his fucking introduction. That is.
Oh,
all
he wasn't
Andrew
doing. He
cared
wasn't doing his introduction for that.
about. Oh.
all he said
Andrew
was
would've
he.
still done it anyways.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Uh,
Andrew's not insecure. What are you fucking talking about? That's crazy.
Roderick only does introduction upon first meetings and when requested.
Got it.
Bailey calls out to you guys and just says, if you are finished playing, I believe I might have found a hint as to where the young lord may have gone.
Ah, very good. Lead the way, my good lass.
And she,
Damn, sorry. Andrew's mauling.
she points off of the main road that you currently are in, off into the collective of trees that sort of decorate the edge of the main road. Stepping forward, she leads you guys in that direction, sort of navigating her way in further and further as the main road kind of gets further back in your line of sight until it disappears over the distance. The sky is getting even more dark, and although her attention has kind of been like around on the surrounding area for the most part, you do see Bailey's gaze kind of look upwards before she stops and turns to the rest of you. Are you all going to be prepared if there is a creature waiting for us?
More than prepared. Are you prepared to hide in the event that happens?
Yes. However, I do note that there appear to be injuries on some of you.
Some of us. There's only one of us who took damage.
She's trying to be polite.
You polite, passive aggressive.
Are you certain you would not like to lay for rest first?
My good ma'am, what sort of creature could definitely harm the likes of us?
I'm sure plenty.
Roderick goes, Well, I believe God's will protect us, ma'am. I would not worry.
Keep your worries to yourself.
Well, we can have him take the front line now. Easy. But it looked like, at least from him handling those other two creatures when we were in the boats, the other one as well, that he could handle himself. Not that I really saw anything, but they both were dead. So.
You did see a head fly up over the mountain top.
Also, I am
She
back.
saw things die.
Oh, welcome back.
and
Also,
she-
Jesper, you might be using the wrong mic again. Oh, or is that Judah?
No, that was Jesper.
No, I still hear it now.
Yeah,
What?
it's you, Judah.
What?
Yeah, you guys like a fan or something?
Oh, yes.
I'm surprised that this became a
Oh.
problem now.
Oh wait, I couldn't hear it before. Yeah, you're good. Never mind, Jesper.
Oh.
Oh.
Well then.
By the way, Nikki, if you wanted the divine sense thing, that we got Jesper back.
Conspiracy.
So I need to smell. When
Yes.
you
We're sniffing you.
smelly
Dan.
smell.
So now that you're here, Jesper, Roderick uses his divine sense, and yes, you do pick up the sense of a rather sudden, strong smell from Gant.
Now, obviously, you can't see it, but he starts making that kind of like scrunchy face when you get a bad odor. and just like, and he starts like looking around, and he takes a step towards Gant and goes, Artificer, you
Roger.
need a bath.
Really? Oh.
I mean, it's picking up now, but it's quite the noxious odor. I mean, I'd be worried the beast might pick up on it. You best stay behind me.
Sure that's
Way
not sure-
behind.
Gosh.
You
You
sure
know,
that's-
maybe,
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
maybe it was when we were fishing. Maybe that's the smell. Sorry. Like.
But perhaps a bit of fish. I suppose it could be that.
Yeah, it's probably the fish. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
I'll try to shower as soon as when we get we can finally rest stable or so.
I wouldn't be concerned about it catching the attention of the creature, as I'm sure the volume already has.
Ah, very good. Roderick pulls out his great sword. Then let us dispatch of the beast. Wait a minute. How do you know the beast is around here? I mean, we haven't yet to find the young lord.
She keeps walking.
I'm sure your loud exclaiming would pull the attention towards us at one point or another.
I laugh because I'm technically the stealthiest person in this party.
As you guys continue walking, however, at one point, Bailey does eventually actually kind of come to an abrupt stop and hold a hand out to you guys, and then a finger to her lips, as she kind of points off in the direction you guys were headed, and you guys see just the barest flicker of light amongst the darkness.
That actually brings up a good point, Nikki. Is it like pitch black out, or?
I have Bailey leading with a torch, as she's your guide.
That is fantastic. Which will bring into a comical aspect that if we fight the beast, the torch will go with her.
Yes. So she points off in the distance, though, at another flicker of light that can be seen. It appears that the blood leads towards that direction.
Indeed. Well, in that case, we best hurry. Blood. Wait, blood? Did she say that earlier, or did I just miss it?
She didn't.
Okay. What do you mean, blood?
I have been tracking blood.
You mean the blood of your lord? Young lord?
Possibly.
Oh, this is terrible! We must hurry! Come, quick! And Roderick will start moving in the direction of the blood quickly, outdoing the torch. And here's what's gonna happen, though, Nikki. Magic Roderick is gonna go, the darkness has come, but I have faith. The light of the Lord shall guide my way! And then his helmet will become a torch!
His helmet, Keith! His helmet! Yeah? Not his armor?
Nope, he is a spotlight like a lighthouse.
Oh, what the
Oh my. So you guys see Roderick charge on it, his head glowing. Bailey kind of just looks at the torch that she had been holding this entire time.
As Amara like hurries on by, walking past Bailey, he's a fucking idiot.
Just do the absolute fucking least, and at this point he's rather aggressively itching at his neck.
She just nods her head and follows after you guys. And so, as you guys get well, Roger,
Oh, not yet. This doesn't really matter, but Andrew's gonna look at her with contempt as he passes.
her,
I'm still angry at you.
she's just deadpan staring back.
Yeah, I fucking know. It makes it so much worse. Literally, the narcissist meets what's the Greystone tactic or something like that?
The immovable rock or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
like
the unstoppable object makes you immutable. Yeah.
No, not No, not that. It's a literal thing, like a literal tactic to use against narcissists. The Grey Rock.
Oh.
You just give them absolutely nothing to feel themselves, which frustrates them.
That is fair.
All right, so Gant, you see the rest of your comrades running off ahead. What are you doing?
Let's take a deep sigh and just follow along. We'll close behind.
Feelings a little hurt from being called stinky.
Yeah, just worrying about. I can't wait to get in the shower.
If it makes you feel any better, Andrew was thinking about defending Gant, but would rather die.
It's okay.
All right, Roderick, with you charging on ahead, that flicker of light in the distance grows closer and closer, and soon kind of takes on the shape of what appears to be a makeshift campfire that's been put together. And sure enough, now that the blood trail has been brought to your attention, it's a lot easier to see here with your head glowing as bright as it is. The trail of blood that leads towards this little setup. And sure enough, leaning against a tree trunk, you see a rather large, muscular man, kind of half curled over, clutching at his side, haphazardly, in the middle of haphazardly, kind of tying a bandage around his middle. And as you approach, he immediately stops what he's doing and grabs for a giant axe that is seated next to him and jumps up onto his feet. Is already raising it as you approach.
Andrew's gonna yell out, well, not yell, but he's just gonna call out, halt!
Lowers it slightly, but is still holding it in preparation.
Good sir, are you the young lord?
Is your head glowing?
Ignore him. We're here to.
You know what the funny thing is? I can't see my head, so I don't know that.
I'm sure you can.
See the light.
Oh yeah, he sees the light, but he just imagined God has given him vision.
Very oblivious, guys.
Yeah, Andrew, just ignore him. It's just. We were hired by your father to find you.
Ah, Pop sent you. Good to know.
He kind of looks over at each and every one of you.
No offense, but none of you really look like the fighting type.
And as you guys kind of approach, you get a better look. Now that he knows that you guys aren't a threat, a big cheery grin appears on his face. Sure enough, his father's description of him was not wrong, as he is a rather large-looking fella. Here, I'll show the portrait. He's got, the short black hair as described, the tannish skin, scars decorated along his bare upper chest, a number of furs that decorate his lower form that's still kind of keeping him warm. You do see what appears to be a rather it's kind of hard to see underneath the bandages, but with how haphazardly they're kind of being placed on, you get the sense he must have been kind of clawed at.
Okay.
Despite the fact that he's bleeding rather heavily right now, his hands are just kind of on his hips now, and he's grinning at you guys.
At the remark about not being the fighting type, Andrew's gonna kind of, with his hand on the very, hilt of his sword, and his other kind of at his hip, he just says, maybe not quite the same as you, but trust that at least I personally have my own capabilities.
Question, Nikki.
Yes.
Do I recognize
Wink.
this man from tournaments?
Yes, you would. I'd say what types of tournaments would Roderick have taken part in?
Pretty much anything he could get his hands on. He liked tourney fighting. To be fair, though, I would say the last few years he hasn't been able to due to his fact that he was doing his wars in the borders. Right? But when in his youth, right? Back when he was a teen, after he won his first tourney, all he did was tourneys.
Okay, I'd say then, yeah, you definitely recognize him as especially in the gladiator type tournaments. Grom was very a strong combatant, let's say.
Ah, good sir! It's good. I think I recognize you. It has been... How old is he? 26? So he's about my age. My character's age.
28.
Yeah, so he's my character's age. So we definitely would have met in tourneys.
How old is Roderick?
28.
No shot, Andrew's older.
You're an old man.
The anger is just getting worse and worse.
Or am I 26? Let me double check. I don't think I... What did I say his age was? No, 26 is his age, so he'd be 2 years older than my character.
Andrew's 30.
And as you kind of step forward, you see him kind of like pinch at his chin thoughtfully as he squints at you and then snaps his fingers in recognition. He's like,
Oh, Roderick, right?
Indeed! I remember that one tourney we had in the fighting pits. That was quite the challenge you gave.
You almost chopped off my arm.
Yes, but I remember you giving me that vicious blow to the leg that tripped me on my feet.
That's that. Oh, man, it's been a while since I.
you see him kind of like swaying a bit.
Oh, shit! I grab him and pick him up. Sir, you are injured.
Oh no, this is nothing.
Just up. Pete, don't be ridiculous, sir. Don't worry. God will heal, and I will put in my new 5 points of lay on hands into the guy.
Andrew's going to say, sounds for your face, but you look like shit.
You sound like my pops.
And you will see, suddenly his wounds, without Roderick even realizing it, begin to seal over.
Yep. He doesn't really even realize it's happening.
Doesn't seem to realize a lot that's happening, huh?
Yeah. As you guys will see the bleeding begin to kind of come to a stop and some more color kind of come to the guy's face. As he kind of holds his head, just like,
Oh wow, weird. I suddenly feel better.
It is obviously basking in the great glory of God and friendship.
Sure.
And ship.
Indeed, he was a comrade in arms many times.
Sounded like you almost cut off his arm.
Yep, it was pretty funny.
Andrew just gets this specific look on his face, somewhere in between bewilderment and maybe just a pinch of lust or two.
oh no, he's dumb.
Precisely, and
Grom gestures with his thumb to a massive shadow that you guys can now see as you are gathering closer and closer to the fire, and just says,
Yeah, that one right there gave me a bit of a run for my money.
and you see laying there is a large adult black bear.
Seems to lack the horns we were described of.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I came out here for, but I don't know. It just suddenly just came out of nowhere, just slashed at me, and I slashed at it back, and now it's dead.
Indeed, a
do
mighty
I know
hunt.
anything of how black bears typically would behave? It's so funny because I'm a Californian, so I know this shit, but Andrew might not.
Roll me nature.
At disadvantage.
Scary bear. It's not like black bears are generally docile at all. No, fuck.
Actually, they're known to hunt people.
You're thinking of polar bears, G.
No, black bears are known to hunt some people too. It's been recorded.
Interesting. I'll have to look into.
And you do see that the bear is very much laying there dead in a pile of its own blood.
That is impressive.
No big deal. You see him kind of scratch under his nose, grinning ear to ear.
Oh, you just gave me a line. No, it's just Andrew smirks despite himself just a little bit. He now knows a way in.
Oh, God.
Literally.
The back way in. Oh!
I hate it here. Even though I literally made that joke myself. But yeah.
Do we have a monster to fight? Do we not? This isn't it.
Oh,
Nice,
you all
you
came
have-
out here to fight it too?
Indeed, sir. God has come for us, has obviously foreseen us to come help you in your great quest to slay the beast.
What he says.
Well, I mean, in that case, tell God I said thanks.
Roderick literally looks up to the sky, does the holy cross symbol, and bows his head. There you are.
Oh shit, is God dead?
Oh god, he's a fucking idiot.
Inch 5, guys.
5.
He's not dumb. He is brain damaged.
Oh. That's that room temperature IQ. Okay. Andrew's just gonna go ahead and, slide in so casually. He's just like,
I'm sure that you didn't necessarily need our help, but might as well while we're all in the same place.
Kind of puffs up pridefully at that.
Well, you're not wrong, but I mean, I'm always more than happy to share a good hunt.
I very rarely am, and
he'll give him a good-natured and totally not lascivious at all. Light punch on the shoulder.
He gives you one right back.
Nice.
Let's see how that goes. 21. You are knocked on your...
Hey. Fucking contested.
Yes, contested.
Athletics at disadvantage.
Fuck you. 21. Yeah. Fuck.
Oh
my
You
god.
are knocked on your face into the snow. Oh shit, sorry. Don't know my own strength sometimes. He quickly grabs you by the arms and quickly back up.
as I can see, it's impressive.
He coughs a little bit.
So, looking at the rest of you guys as well, he just kind of tilts his head before his eyes eventually land on Bailey. He's just like,
Oh, Billy, what are you doing here? You can't fight.
yes, your father sent me.
Wait, why?
He figured you might have died.
Oh, right. But you're kind of small to be dragging back. I mean, no offense, you don't really look like you got much muscle on you, so like, I don't know if you would have been able to carry me all the way back if I was dead, but
That
it's
way
good
is
you got
why
back.
sheep. Yes.
You don't really look like you can carry me either. He's looking at you,
I'm not
Amara.
going to carry you.
Don't worry, my young friend. Roderick will clasp him. She was here merely as our guide so we could come and get you. But now that we have found you, and I don't suppose she would be much help for the hunt, she can return home and we stalwart companions can continue the hunt together.
I don't really think we should send her off by herself. No.
I agree. I'd rather not die.
Well, very well. You may stick with us if you feel that is best then. But I must...
There's a moment where you see, like, contemplation on her face.
It's honestly worth dying at.
Yeah, she's just like, would I die more likely to die with you guys or by myself?
I mean, that is a fair assessment.
But if you're here to also chase the thing, I saw a bit of a glimpse, and then, man, it's... I've never seen a creature that big before.
Indeed. Well, this is only makes this battle more exciting, doesn't it, my friend?
Are you tracking it?
Oh, yeah, well, I was, and then I saw
lost
it. in the
it.
distance.
You
What's that?
lost it.
He just says,
No.
you lost it, and then asserts it again, you lost it.
No, I just, again, a bear kind of came out of nowhere, and... Yeah.
Shall we begin our search then? I hate being in this cold.
Could you explain a little bit more what it looked like?
Oh, yeah, no, so, like, you ever seen a bear, but it's, like, white, yeah? And it's on its rear feet, like, it's a person, but it's, like, thin. And it has, like, these big claws, like a bear, but it's not a bear.
But you said it's thin.
At least it's not round like a bear.
An anorexic bear. Never thought I'd see the day.
Oh no, it's not a bear. I've killed many bears. That's not a bear. It's
It's
I don't know what
bearish.
yeah.
Out of character sounds like he's describing a Yeti.
Could be.
I was thinking Wendigo.
There are no
Kinda
Wendigos.
off the-
Yeah, and Wendigos technically would be a custom monster. They're in the thing, but it could be a Yeti. Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki custom monsters never.
Oh, I know.
Never.
Mind you, though, a Wendigo is more deer than bear look like.
Shrugs.
Depends.
That depends, I suppose.
But I do think though, it is living over there and oh wait, it's dark, you can't see. I can't see. It went that way, but if it were daytime, you would know over there is a mountain.
Don't worry, my friend. God's light shall shine upon us and guide our path. His helmet glows a little brighter again.
Well, now that I see that, he clearly probably needs a moment, and frankly, a lot of us were traveling for quite a bit of time. How long were we out?
Since you guys all met?
No, like,
Oh, traveling?
yeah.
It's nearing midnight now.
I think we should get our bearings and continue with this perhaps tomorrow.
Indeed, I suppose we can set up camp and prepare ourselves for morning.
Sounds good. I mean, if we're gonna be fighting together, it's good I get to know all your guys' name, right? I mean, I know your name. He points to you, Roderick.
Ha! Of course you do!
And yours too. He points to Bailey. I don't know if anyone's standing near Bailey.
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
No.
well, you just hear her say under her breath, unfortunately.
That gets a like a chuckle out of it.
So, my name, Grom. What's your name? Looks between Andrew, Amara, and Gant.
Name's Gant. Gant Durant. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you! He gives you a hearty smack on the shoulder. You hear like a distant pop in your ear, Gant.
I was like, do I have to make like a roll for that?
No.
Okay.
For a second, you're kind of worried he might have dislocated your shoulder, but no, rolling your arm, it seems good.
Okay. Well, I respond just so, rolling my arm and just making sure it's not out of place.
Andrew's thinking really hard about how he has to go about seducing this man.
So you're saying how he has a boner?
That too, probably.
What?
I thought that's what you meant to say. How he has a boner? I was like, a boner?
No. He's thinking. He's wondering what's the best way.
Okay.
My name is Amara.
Amara, good to meet you. He looks like he's about to smack your shoulder as well, kind of catches himself, and just holds out a fist.
A fist bump?
Yeah.
She doesn't know what the fucking.
Oh, God.
Kind of with that like momentary stretch of silence of no reaction, eventually Grom raises his other fist and bonks his own fist.
Actually, I was going to say Roderick was going to go. It's like, oh, it looks like this, ma'am. And Roderick will fist bump him as he recognizes the barbaric, noble way of saying hi. There's no way in hell these two didn't
Very
fist
noble.
bump during the tourneys.
And you? Looks at you, Andrew.
Andrew's going to attempt to do what Amara did back at the tavern. Not quite as ostentatious, but he's definitely leaning into his charm. Can I make the charisma roll too? Please.
Oh, go ahead.
Please don't bump. Please don't bump. Shut the fuck up right now. Oh,
Oh,
You inflicted this upon us. You don't have to remind us all the fucking time.
I just like to
Literally.
say it's just. Uh,
sorry. What does Andrew say?
yeah, Andrew's just gonna he's just gonna lean into it. It's just
Names are superficial. If you'd like to get to know me better, well, perhaps stay with the watch with me.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
And he looks towards you, Roger, and kind of nudges you with his elbow. He's like,
I guess the guy's kind of shy, huh?
I didn't think so, but perhaps you're right. You're always more insightful of others than I was.
Yeah,
Tourism.
I'm real good with people.
Mara raises an eyebrow.
Bailey sighs.
I'm assuming he's got a higher wisdom than me, just a lower int.
What's your wisdom?
8.
Okay, yeah, thankfully.
Well, alright, I guess we're all getting some rest then.
Here, let me swap you guys over to camp.
Finally.
There's no water near you, but this is the image I'm gonna use for now.
We're in the
Just
ocean.
dunk Gand into the like
I
freezing lake for a
missed.
bath.
I missed you 98%.
Nikki got
Oh,
a big image this time.
I don't think it's that big. I mean, it is.
But is it animated? Yeah.
Yeah, another.
I said it at the exact same time as you did.
Oh.
Whoops. Well, I'll get the. It's a campfire, so you guys can continue RP.
Indeed.
So,
Oh.
so as you guys have now kind of picked a place to settle in, immediately.
Oh, Nikki,
Bailey
you don't have the lighting on.
Oh shoot. There we go.
This autumn actually loading before Judah.
Bailey goes about politely taking your guys' tents and such and gets to work with setting it up for you. While Grom sits down, just returned to haphazardly bandaging his bear mauling. Not as
Oh,
bad now, but still hurts.
His bare-chested bear mauling.
Yes.
Me as a player wants to help her. Amara, however, is like, oh cool, free labor.
Of course.
Andrew's mauling that chest is over there and not on top of him.
I mean, of course, Roderick would set up his own tent.
Seeing that, Bailey just says, "Are you sure you don't want my help?"
I suppose assistance could be yes, assistance would be welcome. Thank you.
I believe you would benefit from it.
Well, I have set up a few tents in my life, ma'am, but I would never turn down assistance.
She helps.
I mean, Roderick knows how to set up a tent. He's been on so many campaigns. But it's fair.
Oh, I know that. Bailey's just being
Big.
shitty.
Yeah, I know. Roderick doesn't notice. He can't.
All right, so you guys have now settled in for camp. You may have
Andrew.
any discussions that you would like to.
Oh, I was just gonna say Andrew is gonna set up his own tent as well.
Bailey stares at you.
Are you sure you would not also like help?
Andrew just stares at her and then continues going back to what he's doing.
She just shrugs.
He just looks at her with, like, I guess. I don't know if, like, how much I'm supposed to necessarily say, but it's just contempt. Like, there's a little deeper there, but contempt is I think the better word.
Got it.
Most apropos.
Seeing
Okay.
that everyone else is setting up camp, I will also be setting up my own tent.
Just like with the others, Bailey will look at you and ask,
Would you like assistance?
You know what? That sounds nice. If you don't mind helping, sure. Here.
"It would be my pleasure." And she'll help.
Cool.
That was so convincing. She should work in food service.
McDonald's Employees of the Month.
I know she'd run it like a ship.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like while Bailey is helping, like have small talk, asking like what they like to do, how they end up here, how they get to working for the Lord, etc. etc.
No, please roleplay this. I need to see this.
Okay.
Yeah, one-on-one role plays are accepted.
So how'd you get involved with all this? You know, like with the working for the Lord and everything.
Do you actually care, or are you asking for small talk?
I'm generally curious. I mean,
She looks
I don't
at you
really
for
know
a
much.
moment. Do you seem genuinely curious?
yeah. I'm like curious enough. Like I don't really think much about it. I'm just like, oh. Just kind of like accustomed to like was what I would say.
General openness of a human being, not unlike these other two narcissists. Well, three,
Okay.
but you get what I mean.
At that, she just nods her head as she continues.
Do you mean specifically how I ended up serving the Lord?
Sure. I mean, whatever you're comfortable talking about, or yeah, let's go with that.
I'm sure you're aware that both Jodale and Marglave are at war at the moment.
Somewhat. I come from a small farm town nearby Marklif, so yeah, a little. I heard a little bit. Not too involved with politics and war, so had my own endeavors to deal with, but heard a little bit.
Well, circumstances at Marglave are not the best for certain people, so I decided to head to Drodale. The Lord found me on the road, brought me in. The people of Drodale don't exactly like Marglavians, but the Lord didn't seem to care, so he took me in, and I work for him now. As
I see,
no one
I
else
see.
really wants to give me work.
Oh. Well, why is that? If you don't mind me asking.
She gestures to her pointed ears.
Thanks to these storms going on, it's not hard to tell when someone's from Marglave now.
Oh, well. I'm sorry you had to suffer through that. But at the very least, it's nice that you did seem to find some work after all that struggle. Do you find your lord nice? Treats you well?
She nods her head.
The fact that he took me in despite where I'm from without any suspicion. Yes, he might be a little too trusting, but he's a good man.
Okay.
Cares for his family. I don't know too much about the lady of the house. I believe she passed a long time ago. You'd have more luck asking him. And
She glances over towards where Grom is currently squinting as he's trying to figure out how to tie a bandage shut.
Oh. I see.
He watches and does not help.
Of course.
Why obscure the view?
I would say after a while, Roderick would go over and says, "It's over, under, and through." And then goes back.
Over. Wait. Under. Wait, what was it again?
Over, under, and through, my friend.
Under, through, and over. Yes.
Watching this, Bailey just shakes her head and returns to working. Grom as well is also rather good to me. Though I
Well.
think that's just because he's an idiot.
Well, can't, he doesn't know how to hurt anyone because he can't really do anything like that, so right?
What do you mean?
Well, if he doesn't have it in his head to hurt you, then I
Did
don't
you
think,
not see the bear?
I think you're safe enough. I mean, perhaps, yeah, but like you said, he's not very bright.
Both him and his father are a little too trusting. In their position, I probably would have assumed I'm a Marglavian spy, but they didn't even ask.
I see. Well, are you?
Jesus Christ.
like, with a smirk, of course. Just like, obviously, like in a joking way.
Obviously.
Oh. Well.
Her expression does not change at all.
It's giving Vidalia.
Well. I'll surely have to keep my eye on you then, right?
Are you coming on to me?
Explain coming on. Like, I really was just responding in ways he doesn't understand. He's just like...
Well, it starts when you get really excited.
She just shakes her head as she realizes. Never mind.
Okay.
Seems like they're all idiots.
Andrew's
Amara just
always
starts-
here to make unhelpful comments.
Amara just starts vividly explaining a sexual scene.
Just out of nowhere?
Andrew
No,
tunes
just-
in.
Just from adding on to what Andrew said.
She just starts going off like a ChatGPT prompt.
Yeah,
Nice.
she'll keep going until they stop. Get her to stop.
Grom's actually the one who pipes up. She's like, okay, let's change the subject.
No, what happens next?
No, so,
To be
Roderick,
honest, I didn't know a body could bend that way.
Well, where there's a cork, there's a way.
Roderick, how your travels been?
Very well. I unfortunately my bard isn't here, but I met a nice bard. Good fellow. Very very. What's the word? Very smart and great man. Capable of helping me about, helping me write the sagas of my adventures.
Huh. That actually kind of sounds nice. Bailey, do you want to be my bard? No.
No.
All right. Cool.
Cool. Just cool.
Good scene. God, Andrew's gonna keep. I hate him. Anyway, he's just gonna pipe up and also helpfully say, "It's just." Sorry, I need to heal from the cringe. He's just gonna pipe up and say, "I could help sing some of your songs. I'm afraid I just end up teaching you a couple of mine, though."
Oh, you're a singer?
Something like that.
All right, let's hear it.
Does Gant hear this at all?
No.
They're talking about, or they're too far?
Everyone's just around a campfire, and
Yeah.
Grom never keeps his volume down.
Okay, well, you see a little like motion of Gant's ear, and he turns over with his attention towards Andrew.
Now, are they actual songs, or is it just a lot of grunting and moaning?
I hate him so much. I hate him so much. Cause he's just gonna look at her dead in the face and just give her this look that essentially amounts to, what do you think I am, fucking gay? And he just is gonna he'll start half-heartedly singing just a random tune from his childhood.
Roll me
After Andrew makes that comment about like, are you like, what do you think I am, fucking gay? Like, you just.
No, he doesn't say it.
Oh no, he doesn't. Oh, okay. I thought you said it. Okay, never mind. I take it back.
No, but the look is just like, you know, it's there. It's like, oh, how dare. Anyhow, let's hopefully not fail. Oh, but am I still disadvantaged?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh. I mean,
Bad.
It's a 10!
yeah, it's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's just a nice little tune. And Grom seems easily entertained as his smile kind of grows, and he just rests an elbow on his knee and his chin on his palm as he listens.
Doesn't take much for him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. He's easy to impress.
Oh,
Ah, boy.
that's perfect. Oh man, I don't know how Andrew would react to that. It's like attention, but at the cost of dignity? He'll continue until the song is done.
Oh wait, are they still singing or no?
Until the song is done. It's like a 2-minute jingle, more or less.
Okay. Dan's just smiling and observing, listening.
Oh, I forgot a small detail. When Gant looked over in interest over at Andrew, Andrew responded to look of disgust. He's just so mean. I'm sorry. Ugh.
He gave Gant a look of disgust, you said?
Yup.
Oh.
Ew, man. You know, it's totally not because it's embarrassing or anything. No. I'm so angry. But yeah, continue.
Also, as a curiosity, you said it's what kind of song was it?
It's actually kind of a bit of a folk song.
Folk song. Okay. About.
I would have to say it's definitely, I guess, not the song that you would necessarily expect from a knight. This is something that you would find your average countryman singing. In fact, I guess by means of proximity, Gant might have even known the song, now that I think about it. I think it would have been a nice little one, in particular, about a farmer and his, what do you call it? A farmer in a drought trying to raise a crop, basically. It's really whimsical, though, because for whatever reason, when the farmer proceeds to pee on the plant, it grows. So, take that as you will. It's a silly one.
Ah, got it.
Yeah.
The song is over. You get a hearty clap from Grom. Not bad.
Andrew does as much of a bow as he can while he's more or less sitting, lounging, and he'll kind of mutter under his breath. It's just, not bad as a wood forest.
Gant also follows up, just clapping as well. Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty nice to listen to. I think you should keep at it.
Sorry, I immediately always think of that meme when I hear that. Hey,
That was pretty good. I didn't even mean to say it like that. I was like, oh wait, no, fuck.
Andrew will look and just squint at Gant accusatorily. Are you mocking me?
No. Do I seem like a type of person who mocks people?
String beans such as yourself can rarely be trusted.
Alright, suit yourself. I mean, sounds like a very painful road to walk.
Andrew is gonna pretend like he didn't hear that part.
I don't even know if he knows how to mock people.
What?
She says, I don't even know if he knows how to mock people.
How to what?
Mock.
Mock?
Ah,
Mock people? Oh man. Oh man. I know what he wants to say, but I have not the words for it. Oh man. It's something a mildly unintentional innuendo of how easily he seems to be able to run his mouth anyways. He's sure that he has some skill in in mockery.
The Amara Andrew bickering.
Mean Girls.
Yeah.
what was that? Let's see.
And I'll say as well the tents have been finished with being put together, so now you guys can all sort of either gather around the campfire or
And sing our campfire
yeah,
song.
I tried not to.
I voice your intrusive thoughts, so you don't have to.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Or settle down for rest. So you guys now have your free time for whatever chatter you may like, or I can continue whatever it is that you prefer.
I don't know anything particularly I'd have a conversation with at the moment, especially since I'm considering like the whole party's probably dying of exhaustion at this point since Roderick is making them go non-stop.
Yeah, Andrew's gonna go snork me as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, fuck that. He's had
Okay.
a bad day, baby Angie.
Is everyone heading to the sleep den, or is someone taking watch?
Gant
we
is going to-
Roderick would suggest we have watches. There's an evil monster somewhere in the vicinity.
Gant is actually gonna go to the edge of the lake, look at his reflection, and ponder.
Yeah, there's actually no water.
Oh, it's not. Oh.
Yeah, I
Never
mentioned that when
mind.
loading it. Just I mentioned to ignore the water. I didn't find a proper image.
You can always stare at the moonlit snow.
And we also don't have.
I mean, it was.
There's
the
no
purpose
water,
was to
but the
shower,
cocoon.
not to have a reflection
Yeah,
moment.
there's no water, but the cocoon, that's totally there. The boat, 100% we have, just no water for.
And the moose drinking.
God damn it.
The lake, just a lake
Drinking
with
snow.
no bodies of water.
Drinking snow, yes.
I'm curious why there's a boat out here, but no water. Oh well.
Just crop this
Gant like
image.
tries to collect snow and rub it against him to like.
An elaborate prank, perhaps.
You can just draw a wall where the rocks are. And just put us on the opposite side.
I'm contemplating it.
You could just like take the black, grab the black ink, Nikki, and just black out the area.
It's fine, just ignore it.
I-
Alright, so Gant's
just
using snow to quote unquote bathe.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's doing first watch then?
I paint Roderick's tent pink.
Pink?
Nice.
Yeah.
While
Is
he's,
you
when he's
LGBT,
sleeping?
but you're gone pink.
No, I just paint like haphazardly paint half side of it pink. I don't even do a good job. I just do that and then I go to bed.
Ah, the royal colors. And he goes to bed. Hey man, pink in the old days wasn't a girl color. That's a modern day invention.
Oh no, that's fine.
I know.
She does it.
Okay, so Amara, Roderick have gone to sleep. Andrew's gone to sleep. Grom just full on passes out.
Real. He bleeds
Oh, is
out
it?
and none of us are aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he still couldn't figure out if it was under, over, and through, or through,
Too much
over, and
thinking.
yeah. Died from too much thinking.
Seeing everyone
Real.
asleep, Bailey just sighs and realizes she'll probably have to do first watch then.
I mean, my character, I would say, attempts to go sleep, but then realizes they can't fall asleep for whatever reason.
Yeah, for some reason, it's find yourself tossing and turning. It's just you can't.
And I just look out my tent, get up, and then go back down, and repeat.
Seeing that Bailey speaks up is just like, is there a reason you can't sleep?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
If you prefer, I can knock you out.
You know what? After everything that's not working, I just might take that option.
Grabs a whole log.
Yeah, she's getting up and picking up the biggest log that she can pick up.
Okay.
She approaches, lifts it up. Are you seriously going to let me hit you with this?
I don't think anything else is working that should be working, so, yeah.
Oh my god.
Ah, the medieval medicines.
She just drops it on your lap haphazardly. It just sits back down in her bed. It's just like.
They're all idiots. I'm gonna die out here.
Well, he just just looks at the log, looks back at her, then looks back at the log again, then stares into the, just in the background of nothingness, just like what? Not sure what just happened.
Well, if you're having trouble sleeping anyway, I'll lay down to rest and you can stay watch. And she lays down.
Alright, sounds good.
Gant, the permanent watcher. Roll me perception check.
And I can't see shit.
Yep. So disadvantage.
Alright. Oh wait, do I have disadvantage?
Yeah, you don't have,
Yeah, 'cause
you don't
it's
have dark
dark.
vision, do you?
Oh, it's dark vision. True. Okay.
Nobody in this party has dark vision.
Perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why is it not?
Well, you rolled.
2.
I'll just do it twice. Okay.
Oh, if you're looking for the disadvantage advantage button, you want to put your mouse over the number 2, and then you should see a minus and plus sign from now on.
Wait, if I put my mouse.
Like if you
On
scroll
the roll.
over your roll, you'll see a plus and a minus on the roll.
Okay.
And that's how you do
Catwalk?
you hit plus for advantage and minus for disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a 2. Alright, good to know.
2.
And, with that, I will call a session for tonight.
Woo!
Woo!
Hey.
Woo! As Nikki
Guys,
plans our ambush death.
Guys, I'm so sorry.
What? Why?